Tonight, you can catch the game live right here. The Houston Astros snapped their two-game losing skid with a 4-3 win over the Miami Marlins. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, good morning out there, baby.
Come on, Bubba.
Hey, Bubba, we gonna have us a hell of a show, man.
You sound like somebody I know.
Hey, it's your boy, AJ, and my boy, Big Rob. Hey, what up, Rob? How you doing today, Bubba?
How y'all doing?
What's the good word, bub?
How's your mama this morning?
Oh, man, she's doing all right, man. Doing all right. Her tooth fell out again, but
you find it?
We found it. A dog ate it, but then the dog pooped it, as they do.
Well, you know. So
let's start the show with an inside joke.
yes.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, it's hump day.
Hump day. It is hump day, as Joe Reinagel would say, although he couldn't say it yesterday because you couldn't hear their show yesterday. And listen, man, I say this all the time and you guys doubt it. We're the priority show on this station now.
And evidently the spectrum.
Times have changed. I understand that, you know, oh, the blitz, that's the big noise on this station. And it was. Rob and I are here to take things over. Basically, we are like NWO Hulk Hogan.
Oh,
like that. That's
so
us.
we're the Dark Hogan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're wearing the black tank top now,
yeah,
and the black beard.
Those
are the good years, really. Those are my favorite Hulk years. And it's not that they're not doing good work. It's just we're doing better work.
That's right.
I mean, it's not nothing.
We're here to take over,
we're
baby.
Not here defaming their quality. Ours is just
their quality just isn't allowed on the air sometimes anymore.
So
you think Spectrum would have dared take our show off the air?
No,
hell no, Bubba.
They're afraid of the brigade bar, the onslaught of our morning crew.
They don't want it, baby. They don't want it. Yeah, man. Spectrum can suck it as far as I'm concerned. First of all, we don't have many options here in San Antonio, I'm noticing, for internet services.
We don't know this. So tell us what it's like other places, Uncle AJ. Is there access to cable and internet in a lot of different ways other places?
You got options in most places. Here, like, they basically say, well, this is pretty much what you got.
So you have your access to Spectrum. You can there's parts of our city that has the Google Fiber.
That's what I tried to get, and I couldn't get it because in the apartments, you can't get that.
Then you got your Uverse.
Mm-hmm. I think that's going away, by the way.
Then you got your satellite, your dish, and your Hughes whatnots.
Yep.
That's probably about it. I think there's probably some smaller ones. I had to go. You know, this is one of the few times that
you're a big winner.
live on this digital barren island that I've had to wait. Like
Rob's
I've been
off grid.
I felt like I've always been off grid until yesterday, and I was like, the freeway is wide open. My download speeds are amazing.
Rob came in from picking up the eggs and
AJ,
shearing the goats, and they was like, oh, the internet's working. Look at me.
Well, I had to have a diversion, actually. As I was going through my social, seeing everybody bitching, like, I can only get with my phone and no. There was tragedy out on Thompson Hill yesterday.
Oh no.
We had a mass killing.
Oh no.
Yeah, we lost three chickens.
Oh.
Now here's the gruesome part. The only thing taken were their heads.
Damn.
3 headless chickens in my yard.
You know what? This is a sicko.
Well, this is a new one. See, I've had them where you lost certain organs.
Yeah.
And that's like, did you know weasels kill for sport?
Well,
So
that's what this sounds like.
well, it sounds like sport killing.
Because
But-
only a psychopath would only take the head. There's no meat on the head.
Well, evidently there's something. And you know what it is? It's a raccoon.
I thought raccoons eat like
I
livers or
thought so.
pancreas.
I was
or something.
wrong. It's the possums. And so I had to do some research last night. This is some gruesome stuff. Like cats are sport killers. We all know that.
Oh yeah, they'll kill a bird and then leave it on your porch and be
yeah.
"Hey, look what I did! It's badass."
So you'll know if a cat has taken your chickens because there'll be feathers everywhere and blood because cats are Hannibal Lecters of our pets. They kill for sport.
They're show killers.
Weasels will kill for fun, but there's no Texas weasels. I don't think.
I don't know. I don't know that I've ever seen a weasel.
Well, I've met a few, but I've never actually seen them. But evidently, they kill for sport. Now, an owl, and I do have an owl on the property, will kill for sport and will eat sometimes just the head.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think it's an owl.
The owls. I didn't think owls did bird on bird crime.
Oh, owls are badass, man.
I thought owls only eat mammals.
No, owls will eat whatever they want. I have a 3-foot tall barn owl that lives on our property.
Owls are terrifying creatures.
Holy cow. But the reason I know it wasn't an owl is all three. Well, first of all, there was a gap torn in the chicken wire by little beastly little hands. You could tell.
And owls don't have hands.
No, they have
know.
talons.
That's right.
Beastly long talons. But the chickens were found at the fence line. So an owl wouldn't have dropped it or wouldn't have just left it at the fence line. So I eliminated an owl. That's out.
Okay. If it had been the owl, would you have shot the owl?
No, I'm horrified of the owl. If I kill the owl, then I believe bad luck will fall on myself and several generations after.
Okay.
So no, I'm not touched. Dude, I come out in the morning sometimes, and it's out on my digital satellite thing that's 50 foot above my house.
That's why your internet works.
That's right. But there'll be an owl up there, and it'll cast like a
shadow,
like a 7-foot long shadow. As I walk out to my car,
it's like the statue on top of the Capitol building.
When I say like the 3-eyed raven, and there's people out there that know what I'm talking about. It's like that. You walk out like, holy cow, this thing's watching me. He's got a message. He's here to tell me something.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not going to take care of that.
I'm your chickens. Do something, bitch.
I'm going to take your chickens. Sacrifice to me.
What are you going to do about it, weakling?
Sacrifice to me. Get me a goat. So it wasn't an owl. So I've narrowed it down to raccoon because of the way
you blame raccoon.
Well, I did some research. This is why I know all this stuff. And a dog will kill a chicken. My dog, the dog will protect him, but if you move too fast, he doesn't want to eat him, but he'll kill him.
Yeah.
But we had chicken tragedy. Blood, the garbage men are in for a surprise.
I'm torn on raccoons because
they're awful.
They?
They're too smart, and they have hands. They have little opposable thumb claws.
I think that's what I like about them.
No, they can get into your attic. They will eat a chicken, and then they'll look cool doing it. So we're like, oh, look at that raccoon.
And that's what
you see a possum, you'll aim for it with your car.
Oh, no doubt.
But possums will eat fleas. They eat all the stuff that we hate. They do some other stuff. They look nasty. But
that's
possums are far.
Raccoons are cool looking.
American monkeys. There are monkeys, and they will get into anything. And we like them. We think they're cute, and they get rabid, and they kill our cats. No, raccoons are as bad as anything else out there. They're just barely above a raccoon, and probably going to be easily lapped by weasels if we ever get them.
Yeah, I feel like that's my problem with raccoons is they look like they would
cool.
be friendly creatures or
they get away with it.
I sometimes on Instagram I'll see like, oh, this person has a pet raccoon, and I'm like, oh. That'd be cool to have a
skunk.
It'd be cool to have a pet raccoon. They're not like it lives in a sock drawer, and it's like, yeah, I'd have one of those.
As soon as you went to sleep, that raccoon would be on your neck, like cutting your carotid artery and just ripping the cracker box open.
It's one thing I believe about cats, and I don't think anyone will ever convince me otherwise. If house cats were the size of tigers, they would eat you.
Killing machines.
Yeah, like cats are built to maul. And people are like, oh, well, cats are so sweet. And that's why these idiots are like, I'm gonna have a puma as a pet. I'm like, that's not a good idea, friend. Like that Tiger King. There was a whole documentary about it.
Did you watch it? And I've come to the realization that there are so many more people that have tigers than I
There's
ever
a
dreamed.
lot. Dude,
Like,
my doctor, when I was a kid, had tigers.
I wish I'd have had your doctor.
He was my dad's hunting buddy.
That's the doctor I want.
And I'd go out to, he had a son
There's
my
a
age.
lollipop, and you can go pet the tiger.
He had a son my age, and I'd go spend the night out at his house, and like in their backyard, like where most people would have a swimming pool, like in a courtyard area.
At a tiger pen?
There was a tiger cage with 2 tigers.
See,
then one of the tigers died because it got a tennis ball and choked on the tennis ball.
Isn't that always the way?
Yeah, there's no tennis balls in the jungle. But the guy had a tiger. He had a monkey that lived in his house and wore a diaper. And then he had ostriches, which were scarier than all of the above animals.
As a dude, as a kid, you're like, this is the most awesome guy I've ever been around. But as an adult, I'm like, this dude's into some weird stuff.
Yeah, he had to throw chunks of meat, like basically briskets, over the top for them to eat. Like,
I guarantee you he had a sex room.
He might have.
I guarantee you. Anybody who keeps tigers like that's got a sex room.
Might have. But yeah, I think that if cats, like a house cat, was the size of a tiger, it would kill you.
Oh, they would all kill us.
And the only reason they don't is because they're
have
like.
you seen a bobcat?
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be the size of a tiger. It just needs to be the size of your average terrier, and it would kill you.
They're just like in a cat's mind, it's like, I'm gonna get bigger, and when I do, this guy's dead.
And they just look at you
like he thinks,
they come on you, and they're like, if I was just a little bit bigger, and they're putting their claws in that. We think they're happy and they're purring. No, they're thinking, if I was just a little bit bigger, man.
And he's like, right now, this relationship works for me because you open my can of food, but one day I won't need a can of food because I'll be big enough to eat you and consume your entire body.
That's why I like dogs. They'll die right beside me.
Yeah, no doubt.
Go down. Like,
no doubt.
I guess we're going down, aren't we, bud? You and me.
And that's why I have a cat, or my family has a cat and 2 dogs. And I always feel guilty about this, but like if my wife called me from Vegas today and said, hey, there's something wrong with the dog,
whatever it costs,
it's going to be $2,000. I say, well,
that's sad. I'm sorry.
Okay, fix the dog.
Oh, see, I can't. I've gone down that high. You'll do it once, and you'll never do it again.
If she called me and said,
the cat, we'll find one look just like her.
The cat, there's something wrong with the cat. Now, mind you, I've had this cat now for, my wife rescued it. It, like, someone abandoned it in an apartment.
It's a roommate.
And like now it's like we've had this cat for probably 8 years, 7 or 8 years. And if it said the cat has cancer and it will cost $200 to fix the cat, I'd be like, well, we had a good run.
Yeah.
Like
I gave it a good life. I did all I
could. But like with a dog, it's like, oh my God, the dog's paw is broken. It needs an ACL surgery that's going to cost $2,000. I'm like, well, I guess we better get it done. Have we seen a specialist? But a cat, I'm just like, well, hey, good run. Good run that cat had. Man. I don't know why I feel that way.
Because cats are roommates. That's all. Cats exist with you. And you exist at their pleasure.
They don't seem to care about you the way
they
a dog
don't care.
does.
As long as the bowl is full, the box is emptied on a regular basis, and they got plenty of food, they don't care a lick. Now they'll come and like manipulate you.
Oh yeah,
they'll come and sit in your lap, but it's all manipulating. They're just trying to figure out how they can kill you or what they can do to get some more food.
Yep. Listen, we got a hell of a show for you today.
Top notch.
I've got, we're you know where we're going to start it. Luckily,
look at all the stuff.
Taking it full circle.
Look at all the research we've got in front of us. If you're watching online, just look at this.
It tells you that all that says on that paper is these guys have been working their asses
all night. Look at this research,
working their ass. Show them how small the print is on that page.
Print. It's like, you know.
I mean, dude.
I mean, this is term paper.
You think we just turn these mics on and it's like it's done? No, Bubba.
Look at this topic pool. See, it's called the topic.
We're grinders around here, baby.
All of this stuff to get to, so we might as well pay for the show.
Yeah, we're grinders around here. That's why they put our show on the radio, not just on the internet.
Always grinding, all day, every day.
My first, see, this is the first time I've looked over at the damn Brigade bar, and all I see is Blitz is better because of Pledge. Pledge, really?
You got to get the legend of pleasure is long and industrious.
Yeah, seems like seems like a disposable.
We
part.
all work at the pleasure of James Pleasure. As long as pleasure is pleased, we all are in good shape. We are butt cats.
There is something
James
to
Pleasure's universe.
There is something to him because Minix brings him food like as a tribute. It's like, well, if I don't bring him, he is like kind of like a stray animal. He's like, if I don't feed him, nobody
else will. He lives that life. It's a good life.
Yeah, I get it. Like people are like feel
Rely
bad
on the kindness of strangers.
I've felt a little bit of that since I've been here. People are like, oh, that dude's wife is in Vegas. Then they're like, oh,
poor bastard.
I should bring him like a casserole, like someone died. You know, it's like, oh, well, and I think Rob's wife has had some of these feelings. She's like,
here, take some of this.
Like
you're not going to eat.
It's funny when I met Minix and Joe. The first time we all hung out together was at the Rue Pub, and Rob's like, hey, come out to the house this weekend, and we're gonna have some steaks. And Minix was like, dude, you're never gonna go to Rob's house. And it's like you're like he'll always like casually throw it out there, but you'll never actually go out there. And I was like, oh, okay. No, I said, and I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, that's fine. But then Rob keeps inviting me, and it's like I think it's Rob's wife has like she feels like I'm like an abandoned puppy, and she's like,
because I
bring him out here. Let's throw some food on the plate for him. And like I might be a raccoon. I might come and eat up all the food and then run around and kill a chicken. And she wouldn't know that, but she's like, oh, but he's got to eat.
He's kind of scruffy, but I think we can clean him up.
He wears that little bandit mask.
Let's see if he's been chipped. He appears to have been fixed. He seems to have been married. He's clean around the edges, so he's married. Maybe we can go find some help.
I'm getting sympathy meals already. I got one today. Look at this.
Let me tell you, brother, I lived the life you're living for about 8 months, and she saw the state that I was in by the time she arrived with the fam. So we don't want that to happen to you.
Well, man. God bless her.
Once you become an indoor dog, it's hard to go back outdoors. You can't quite fend for yourself anymore.
And I am an outdoor dog. And you know what? It happened to me yesterday. So, like, first of all, I ate a meal that was, I ate a burrito. I went to Freebird Burritos. I like Freebirds.
Yeah. And I don't like whole beans. Dude, I just can't do a whole bean in a burrito.
No, I like black beans in my burrito.
I can't do it. Sorry.
And although now they've got cauliflower rice. Gross.
Shoot me in the head.
Ugh. It's like, do you want cilantro lime, Spanish rice, or cauliflower rice?
You can leave that last one off.
You know what kind of question is that?
Once you start with cauliflower, you can't finish with rice. Just say cauliflower in a different way.
Yeah, but I got my burrito, and they've got a list of new sauces. I was like,
I like the names of their sauces, by the way. Anybody who comes up with a new sauce gets to name it. I want to come up with a sauce and name it.
So I'll get some salsa on it, and then I'll have a couple squirts of what they call death sauce, which is like their habanero sauce.
You got to do better than death sauce.
Well, now they've got, and if I say I want you to sprinkle some death sauce, they're like, okay, boom, boom, boom. Now they have a new one called Blackberry Reaper.
That sounds like a weed strain.
It does sound like a weed strain. And I said, oh, Blackberry
I think we should
Reaper.
Have a segment. Salsa or weed strain.
And they were like, I said, let me get that red salsa and then give me a couple squirts of this Blackberry Reaper. And they were like,
I wouldn't recommend that, sir. That could be dangerous.
They said, we have to put it on the side. And I was like, why? And they're like, well, it's really spicy. Now, this goes back to
Did you take this as a challenge?
If my wife were here, she would have said, if they're telling you they can only put it on the side, you don't need it. You're gonna feel like crap the next day.
Truth.
And I would have said, you know what, honey, you're right. But instead, I said,
how dare you question my manhood?
Okay,
I want 2 helpings.
So I got the little cup, and
so you did.
I'm eating this burrito, and I'm just like pouring this damn
was it hot?
Yeah, it was hot. And it's weird because it is very spicy, but it also has like a blackberry flavor. I mean, it's kind of a unique sauce. But I finished this burrito and I was like, what have I just done?
What have I done to myself?
Why did I
12
do
hours
this?
of misery to follow.
I still feel terrible this morning, to be honest. Like I still feel it in my guts. It's like, why did I do this? But that's what it like
you
because my wife
how to take
wasn't
care
here.
of yourself.
You do.
And it's intentional. They do that to us. So we were like, well, I don't know what else I could possibly do.
She's prepared me. I'm like a cat now.
Mm-hmm.
She's prepared me for life where I am not going to get big enough to fend for myself. I need someone to open my can of cat food.
That's exactly right.
And she knows she's the cat food opener, so she's always got a job. All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, I did get television back in time to watch the young Spurs last night. I thought they were going to win by exactly 25, and I was going to have Vic pull the audio. I was going to be a genius. They get a comfortable win, though, over China. We'll talk about the goods and the bads of it yesterday. It is the Morning Huddle right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
It's Jason and Joe from the Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 22nd and 23rd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas. More details and discounted rooms available online at sasportstar.com.
Hi, everyone. Broadcaster and ER physician, Dr. Jerry Punch here. We all know about the speed of sound, but have you ever thought about the sounds of speeding? If you drive over the speed limit, there are lots of sounds that you might hear. You could hear the sound of your vehicle crashing, the sound of first responders desperately trying to save you. You could even hear the sound of people crying at a funeral. Because if you drive over the speed limit, you could do damage that's beyond repair. One way or another, speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Have you ever lifted a piece of furniture only to discover the carpet underneath looks brand new while the rest of it looks, well, not brand new? That's when you realize you need new carpet. At the Home Depot, we have a wide selection of all the top brands. Best of all, installation is included. So all you need to do is choose something that matches your style. Start your carpet project today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Installation included with qualifying purchases. Exclusions apply. For licenses, see homedepot.com/license numbers.
Bourbon and Brews is heading south for the summer, but don't worry. We're now introducing Twin Peaks Tequila and Cervezas. It's a fiesta every Friday at Twin Peaks with samples of our favorite tequilas and cervezas all summer long. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, baby. San Antonio Spurs get a big win in Little China. Or no, actually,
that was south of there. They were in Sacramento. They weren't in San Francisco.
Yeah. 89-67 win.
An offensive explosion on both sides.
Oh boy. How about China putting up 23 points in the second half? What a watch that was. Although it did feel like the offense was bad for everybody. Let's just say what it is.
It was exhibition basketball.
Castle took 6 threes, made none, but somehow, Stephen Castle was 8 of 21 from the field, and somehow as I watched that game, I was like, "This is good," and I don't know why because 8 of 21 is terrible.
He knew he was the best guy on the court, so he was trying all kinds of crazy stuff. That's what he was doing. I'd say at least 4 of those threes were absolutely ill-advised. But what the hell? It was exhibition basketball.
I think there's a lot of guys who just chuck.
Yeah, well, that wasn't chucking, but I will go.
No, I'm not saying him, but I'm saying there's a lot of guys who it's
this is exhibition ball, baby.
I've got the ball outside the three-point line.
They know 3.
It's my time.
They know 3 plays. That's all they know. I mean, these guys have known each other for a week and a half. They're running on the fly, and they got a coach standing there in Bermuda shorts. I mean, yeah, this is an exhibition hoop. What you look for when you watch these games is how are they in the game? Do they demand the ball? Are they avoiding the ball? Are they helping on defense? Are they locking on their guy? Are they locking and helping? Do they understand defensive principles of where and when to help? Look at the things that will apply to the big game. That's all you can take from this, and hope you can see some cool stuff in between. Like last night, Castle, you can see when he gets frantic, he doesn't extend fully on his jumper. He gets in a hurry and he lets it go. He alligator arms it. That's got to be fixed.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you see and go, oh, yeah, we can fix that. Other stuff, like he did the first game, he controlled the pace. He knew he was the best guy out there. And he absolutely destroyed the Chinese little point guard, like on 3 straight possessions, just battering rammed him to the rim, like just stepped on his chest. And that's what you should be doing. And that's an 18-year-old kid taking it to a grown-ass man. Now, I know he's a Chinese pro, but just destroyed him. And that's what you want to see. Pull him. And you know what? If you're going to stay out there, have fun.
You know what? There was one play where he drove into the paint, went back and forth about 3 times, got 2 guys up in the air with him, and dumped it off to the tall white guy who hit like a 6-foot jumper.
Maselke or whatever.
Yeah.
That guy's got some hustle in him, too.
Yeah, he did. All right. But I liked what I saw out of Castle.
Absolutely.
I loved what I saw out of Ingram. He hustles. He plays hard on both ends.
Can we ask a favor?
Sure.
Because Harrison Ingram, and I know City Sissoko is not long for this Spurs world.
But when I got to the negatives, I was like, that dude's done.
But
He's not going to make it.
When one is 55 and one is 25, and they have the same body type, I kept getting mad at Harrison, but it wasn't Harrison doing it. It was Sissoko.
Yeah, you ain't gonna have to worry about Sissoko.
Oh, he's
playing. That dude's gonna be playing in the Albanian league or something. I don't even know if Albania is still a place.
He was here to help Victor learn better English. I mean, they were gonna go to the same ESL class.
Boy, bye.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah.
And, you notice that Brian Wright has a type. That there's about a 6'8" muscular forward look that there's about 6 of them.
And they all play. I think they all play the same position too. But a couple guys that I liked, this Bouye kid, he's got some
lightning.
I don't know how old he is, but he's got the hairline of a 46-year-old. And I say that with all due respect, as a as a 44-year-old man with no hair. I'm like, damn, that dude. It's like
he gonna be for camp.
It's like a Snoop Dogg's hairline. It's like, how does someone's hair start there? That's crazy.
Let's give up and find a razor.
Yeah, but I like his game.
Quick to the rim.
I love Nathan Mensah, and Nathan Mensah scored 9 points
all
last night, which Nathan Mensah is probably never going to score 9 points in an NBA game, but he's going to rebound. He's going to block shots. He is going to make things tough around the basket. He, to me, is a perfect backup big for this team, and I loved him in college. He is a hustle guy. I liked what I saw at him. Got to make some free throws, though. That was, and you know what? To be honest, there was a couple of the free throw misses that Castle had. It's like, bro, that's not even close.
There's some form issues. He alligator arm. It's in a hurry. But there's also some lackadaisical that doesn't really matter free throws too.
And there's one more guy. You tell me, maybe this guy's been on the roster before. Avdilovic.
I don't know him. Never seen him before.
I kind of like him. He's diving on the floor trying to get loose balls. He shoots threes. I'm like,
what you better be doing.
I kind of like this Avdilovic guy.
I don't get to know his first name.
I don't know it. I know it starts with an L and it got letters. All right, let's hit a break. We're going to keep talking about this. At some point today, we've got to talk about a furry attack. And we've got
what kind of furry?
That kind. We got more talk about the young Spurs, more talk about the old Spurs. Paris power rankings. Is Wander Franco interested in the young Spurs? So much to discuss. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, are the Spurs still in the market for another player? What about Utah's big fella?
Is Lauri Markkanen on the market or off the market? There's conflicting stories out there. We do know Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes are officially Spurs. We'll hear from them, but the big question wasn't answered. What number is Chris Paul going to wear?
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
My neighbor across the street, his mother died. I paid cash for the car, and he gave me a title with his mother's name on it, and they won't let it get registered.
Yeah, y'all should have just forged it. Now you need to get him to apply for a new title and forge the dead mother's name. And she's damn sure not going to sue because she's dead.
This is not endorsed by GiveMeTheVin.com.
Not at all.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Every Saturday morning. Check out the YouTube channel, complete with live video stream at jcwshow.com.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem, and it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagel for my friends at Stevens Roofing, your local roofer. You know, summer is here, and that means long, hot days for everyone and everything, including your roof. Our hot Texas sun pounding down can degrade and age your roof. So for residential or commercial service, you need a reliable roofer you can trust and afford. That's Stevens Roofing. Online at stevensroofing.net or call them at 210-785-0994. That's 210-785-0994 for Stevens Roofing.
George gets justice. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our motto is simple. George gets justice. But what does that mean for you? It means you get an award-winning team of attorneys who will fight for everything taken from you so that you can get back to what matters in life. When we say George gets justice, it's just not a motto. It's a commitment to you. Call us at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-205-5350. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-205-5350 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson for Tri-County Meat Market, your locally owned full-service meat market. Tri-County has 2 great locations, Keebner Road and Ralph Fair, stocked full of everything you need to up your grilling game. If you're looking for the perfect cut of beef, they've got it. If they don't have it, they'll cut it for you. Roast chicken, prepare foods, they've got it. The 5 for $25 is always in play. If you're a first responder, 10% off the best meat you're going to find. Tri-County Meat Market. Head over to either location, put some good meat on the grill, and thank me later.
Maybe it's time to ask your checking account. What have you done for me lately? My Advantage Checking from Generations Federal Credit Union does more. My Advantage Checking pays you 2 days early, plus shopping rewards, identity protection, and much more. My Advantage Checking treats you right. So make the switch. Learn more at Generations Federal Credit Union. Member owned, community grown. Member eligibility requirements apply. For complete terms and conditions, visit mygenfcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
They say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. And I'm telling you, I can feel the difference. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by doctors. Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Man, I've never even heard this song and I know the lyrics. I'm a musical genius, friends.
It sounds like the background music to 70s basketball highlights.
Yeah.
Nate, Tiny Archibald, point guard for the Boston Celtics.
All the positives we talked about on that Spurs game yesterday, and it's hard to defensively. I really liked Stephon Castle's just basically picking people's pockets from behind when they're it's hustle stuff that I was into. But then I started thinking about it. And I was like, yeah, but this against China,
the team that had lost every other game by 35 and 40 points. Yeah,
these guys aren't good.
No.
And somehow Kyle Anderson is on their team, though not playing. I mean, they're not playing in the Olympics, so he's not involved. But apparently, he's a member of their team. Yeah,
former Spur Kyle Anderson.
Yeah,
is on the Chinese national team.
Yeah, they interviewed him yesterday.
I missed that bit. Interesting.
Yeah. Maybe.
Would you do that if you had the opportunity? Another country. Did you put on their flag and go play?
Not China.
No, I definitely wouldn't be China. Well, you know what though? I say that. I'm a firm believer that athletics, leave it out. Leave out the politics. Leave that. I know. But there.
So would you go play for North Korea's basketball team? Where's the line drawn?
Well, doesn't, but
I'm not going to play for Russia
I
either.
look at it from the other side, though, AJ. I look at, I might, because I might be able to make a difference. I might be able to go over there and, why don't you come over to our side? I'll tell you what Americans
I think that's the way they're looking at it. And, you know what? And, I say that about China. There's a lot of professional basketball players have a lot of great things to say about ball in China.
Yeah. I don't know if I would. I don't look down. Not like Becky Hammond played for Russia.
I don't like it.
I think athletics, you separate, And
if you listen, you can't make your country's team. You're just not an international athlete.
There's something, and it's not a right. It's not like you have the right to represent the country, but I don't think I would hold it against most folks. Now, North Korea, we're getting real close. That might be the line.
For me, it's
but Russia,
Russia,
right
China,
now,
North Korea, I'm out.
But, athletics tends to be the unifier, that one thing we all share, and as long as we have that, you feel like there's a hope for humanity.
Dude, Daniil Medvedev can't even have his flag on Wimbledon's thing.
Poor bastard needs hair transplants and got a bad mustache, and now doesn't have a flag.
But he beat the number one player in the country, in the world yesterday.
Beat him into submission.
See ya, sinner. Beat it. Now he's got to play Carlos Alcaraz next, while Djokovic gets a bye into the semifinals. Tiniest. I actually think Djokovic calls it the world's tiniest fiddle.
Fiddle.
Yeah.
He's still got country in him.
In Joker's country, it's a fiddle, not a violin.
He knows where he's from. He's not fancy.
All right. Did you feel good about the Spurs overall?
Well, you said it best. It was China.
Yeah.
But, you wanted, we have another guy to look and kind of cheer for in Boye. I think there's, we have a hero to follow through Vegas, and Steph did what Steph should be doing. Make some shots. Don't get some bad habits. Don't develop that. Yeah.
We'll talk about them more coming up in the program. I want to talk about this furry attack on the other side. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
San Antonio is Aggie country. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're listening to the home of the Aggies. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is the story of the one.
As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Trane heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit TraneInfo.com to find your local independent Trane dealer. TraneInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Testosterone levels in men can start to decrease as early as 30 years old, and long-term health risks can be extremely damaging to your body. Rock's Discount Vitamins carries a variety of natural testosterone boosters that can immediately provide you with more energy, increased libido, increased metabolism, and improve your mood. Rock's Discount Vitamins natural testosterone boosters can even help you build muscle and lose weight faster. With 11 San Antonio locations, visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. Thanking God and South Texas for all the support.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back. Circa Survivor and Circa Million are now up to a record $16 million in guaranteed prizes. 2 ways to win and no rate. Circa Survivor contestants select one team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all with $10 million guaranteed. In Circa Million, make 5 picks against the spread each week for your share of $6 million guaranteed through quarterly and full season payouts. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. Visit circasports.com for details.
Ooma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Morning Huddle. AJ and Rob getting you through on a hump day. Hump day. What day? Hump day. I think Joe might be able to tell you that on the radio today. You know what I didn't like about that whole outage thing was when I laid down to take my nap, my internet was working fine. And then when I woke up, it wasn't. And somehow they were like, oh, it's because we had an infrastructure issue. We had damage from the hurricane. Well, if something got broken during the hurricane, that it wouldn't have been working at 11 o'clock this morning, then stopped working at 1.
The hurricane's already in like New York.
Yeah.
I don't know why it happened yesterday.
Quit making up stuff, dude. Are you familiar with the festival called Anthrocon?
I am not.
You should be. Anthrocon is a festival, apparently an annual festival that happens once a year for a subculture of people that are widely known as furries. And you may be saying, well, what the hell's a furry? Like, I just saw Vic looked in here like, you don't know what a furry is, do you, Vic?
Huh?
Furries are people who dress up in mascot costumes and have sex with each other.
Get off to it.
Yeah. So it's like, and they all have, it's their personality. Like it's a chance to be something. I don't know whatever people do this cosplay, they dress up what they want to be.
Furries are underneath the cosplay umbrella.
Yes.
So there are cosplayers that are not furries.
Right. So a cosplayer could be like, I'm Wolverine, so I show up at Comic-Con wearing a Wolverine
and they're not doing
costume
it to get themselves off.
They're not
just want to be.
Yeah. Furries generally are looking to attract other furries, and they are the people who are in these costumes. And I'm not saying all. I did interview a furry once before Anthrocon because I wanted to know more about this. Generally, they are sexually attracted to the costumes of others. They don't care what you look like under your costume. They're not looking to have sex with the person. They're looking to have sex with the costume, the mascot.
Okay, who am I to say? But I get the feeling that anybody under that mask is under that mask for a reason.
When I was in high school, I wanted to have sex with our mascot.
But you knew who was in the mascot.
I knew who was in the mascot costume, and
Was he a nice guy?
She was a good-looking gal.
Yeah, that's different. That's very different.
But I wouldn't have wanted her to be wearing the costume. That would have been too much.
Start there.
Now, if that's what if that was the deal breaker, okay, let's go. But I wasn't attracted to her because of the costume.
You're in that mask because without it, nothing was going to happen.
No. Well, I think it needs it.
That's
I
my
think for a
sense.
high school mascot, that might not be the case.
In the high school mascot, that's a very different thing.
If you are if you're an adult person who wants to have sex with a costume,
and you're dressed up like
Grimace,
it's because you probably look like Grimace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a bunch of thems, and if that's what works, I'm down.
Well, they're at this festival in Pittsburgh, and the police get called to the hotel
for weird animal
at
noises
1
going
a.m.
on.
A person is bleeding and screaming in the hallways.
Oh.
A 5th floor room, there was an attack. There were 4 people sharing a room at Anthrocon.
This is a night when cops.
And I think all these people were all just 4 people who have the same internet interests and say, hey,
all gathered
you going to be
together.
at Anthrocon? I'm guessing most furries don't have a ton of money, so they're like, let's bunk up.
They're spending money on a costume, man.
That's right. Well, as these people started to do what furries do in their hotel rooms, one of the guys pulled out a sword and said, Allah does not approve, and began to swing the sword at his roommates.
I'm out.
One victim suffered a severe cut that split her right pinky to the ring finger. Had to go to the hospital. I mean, disaster. You can't trust these furries.
This is the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson, KTFM Floresville.
Over the past decade, the Roof Hub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roof Hub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roof Hub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind. They're at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roof.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at TSAOG.com.
With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. From high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone, including blackjack tournaments. From the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, the Big Blind is locally owned and operated, offering daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 and Redland Road.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Center.
In Major League Baseball, the Texas Rangers won their 5th straight with a 5-4 win over the Angels in Anaheim. They continue their series tonight. You can catch the game live right here. The Houston Astros snapped their 2-game losing skid with a 4-3 win over the Miami Marlins. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody. San Antonio Sports Star, the Morning Huddle. Rob and AJ in your ear holes on a hump day. Happy to be here after my day of not being here earlier in the week. Feels good. It feels good to be back.
Trains and automobile.
Yeah, I didn't like that. But now, you know, everything's back to normal.
Well, as normal as possible.
As normal as can be. As normal as can be, friends. The baseball world, as we approach the All-Star break, is we're starting to see that whatever you think isn't necessarily it's not necessarily what's real. The Yankees start the season, they look like the best team in the world. They're an unstoppable force. They are the worst team in the league since June starts. The Astros, total mess. Best team in the league since June starts.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a reminder that it's a long-ass season, man. There's still plenty to be played, too.
Yeah, man. That's why when we start, I think baseball manufactures these deadlines to give us something to look forward to, because we're not even at the All-Star break yet. And I feel like how many roller coaster rides have we been with, not only with the Astros and certainly the Yankees, they're always that, but the Rangers have been up and down like this too. But as soon as we get to the
Rangers
All-Star
break,
break,
they won 5 games in a row now.
So we get to the All-Star break, and now we start looking at the teams that need to make a decision. And they got about a month to do it.
And now Brian Cashman is now like riding around with the Yankees all of a sudden. He's got to like be.
You never want to have that. You never want to be hanging around with your GM constantly.
Oh,
that's never a good thing.
If he's going on road trips,
that's not a good thing.
That can't be good, friends. And that's what's happening now for the New York Yankees. So I know, like, Brian Cashman's been on the quote unquote hot seat about a billion times in his career, and he always finds a way to survive because generally the Yankees always kind of figure it out.
Well, because he's good it's not so much about winning and losing with the Yankees, although, you know, the true fan would beg to differ. It's about being relevant. And Cashman's done a good job of, at the very least, even in the midst of losing streaks and internal chaos, keeping them nationally relevant. And as long as he does that, he's always going to stay safe until they, just get tired of the other thing, the not winning at all kind of thing.
Yeah, nobody wants to not win at all. But right now, and again, this is probably much ado about nothing. You're going to have good weeks, bad weeks. That's the way it goes. Like it's not going to be no. There's a reason why nobody goes like 145-17. It just doesn't work that way. But the idea that you're not going to suck at some point of the season is absurd. And maybe the idea that the Astros were doing it early in the season, maybe we shouldn't have been all that worried about it.
No, there's plenty of reason to be worried.
Okay.
I mean, if as long as you're worried about the right things. I mean,
What are the right things?
Well, pitching depth is going to be a consistent problem. I mean, you knew it coming, and you're just hoping against hope that once you get to September, that you have a 3-pitcher rotation that can just get you through. And you just, as long as we can find that and keep a comfortable closing batch, you're always going to be comfortable. But if that's if at the beginning of the season that's your worry, it normally doesn't work out well. You hope for the best, and you have to have more and more things go right. Normally it doesn't go well. So that's why there was reason to be worried about the Astros. You look at the Yankees, there's faults, there's issues, but they had Garrett Cole in the hole, But now that didn't work out.
Now Garrett Cole's like, and who knows? Garrett Cole, I mean, he might be, again, he might be fine.
That's what I'm saying. We're just past the fireworks. Early summer, man. There's a long way to go.
A long way to go. And I'll be honest. Sometimes I fall into that same. I fall into the same trap of panicking probably before.
But, okay, we
it's
say
necessary.
that, but I do think that the cream is rising. It's not like we can't tell where teams are going. There's some questions, but we got a pretty good idea. I think you could round out the usual suspects already. That kind of. The question marks of the bad teams, most of them been answered.
I think so.
Yeah, we know which way teams are going. But teams like the Yankees, who are in that arrow down right now, but still on the upward half kind of turn, now the clock is ticking about. You're going to have to right the ship. We're going to have to find the right direction. And I think the Rangers found it, know which way they're going. The Yankees haven't. This could turn out miserable, even though we're just at All-Star break. I think there's some legitimate worries.
And this is the thing. The thing for the Yankees is as much of a disaster. I think they're on like a 6-21 run now. Yet they are 3 games out of first place.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a long way to go, but
because they were so good early in the season.
Are you more comfortable with where the Astros sit? Or the Yankees sit, because they're kind of in the same region, though the arrows are pointing in different directions.
Well, yeah. So first of all, the Yankees, right? If the season ended today, the Yankees are the first wild card. So obviously they're in a better position. But
arrow up, Astros are popping. I mean,
here's why I'll say the Astros, because both these teams are the Yankees are 3 games out, Astros are 2 games out. The Astros are chasing the Mariners, who I think are vulnerable. The Yankees are looking up at the Baltimore Orioles, who look like they're legit.
Yeah, and at what point do we believe in the Mariners?
As soon as they start being able to hit, and it doesn't they hit yesterday, but boy, they have not done it consistently.
Right.
They've scored 2 more runs on the entire season than the Oakland A's.
Well,
that's all you need to know.
But that tells me 2 things. That tells me they can win close games.
Well, it tells me they've got pitching.
Yeah,
obviously, you're not in first place without being able to hit if you don't have great pitching. They've got tons of great pitching.
Well, to me, that's enough for me to go look out.
You think so?
Yeah, that's what else am I looking at? What else do I need to know? You grind out tough, close games. Sounds like playoff baseball to me.
Yeah, but also the Mariners are historically a bad postseason franchise.
It's the time difference.
It must be.
Never the alarms. It's just weird.
Yeah. That said, until last year, the Rangers were historically a bad postseason baseball team, and they seem to have figured it out.
That's
I don't
why
know that any team should be panicking.
We're dancing, and I know that you're far more of a baseball fan than I. But when we talk about baseball in these kind of, esoteric long-term view of the season, is the very reason why so many of us are not baseball fans until September. you encompassed the modern baseball fan is, talk to me in September when I really get an idea who's headed in.
I'll be honest, with the exception of the NFL, that's what every sport's biggest issue is. Your season is too long.
And we got to pay the salaries. You're right.
Does anybody think baseball needs 162 games? No. Does anybody think basketball and hockey need 82? No, because most people really don't care until about a week or two before the playoffs.
But why, and I know it's fandom and how you're raised and the first thing you loved and understand, but why does it feel like basketball first, hockey second, baseball last is better at offering me week to week enough to keep involved? Is it the star power that the NBA has? I know the names before the team, so it's worthy of a tune in on a Tuesday night.
But I mean, basketball did a good job of marketing their game as players more than teams, and
also in baseball, your favorite pitcher won't pitch till next week.
Yep. And pitchers are, like you just said, pitchers are maybe the most important guys on the field, and see them once a week.
So you encompass the reason why both you adore baseball, because things can change and because there's this morphing and this growing into what the team is going to be. I'd rather see what the teams are and let's get the best toward the playoffs, and then I'll pay attention. And you wonder, is that going to happen to like college football now that we've got this long playoff that all you got to do is just get there?
I mean, I'm annoyed by it, because listen, there's going to be a team with 3 losses playing for a national title at some point, and I'm going to be annoyed and say, oh, well, the regular season doesn't matter now.
Mm-hmm.
But if a 10-7 team wins the Super Bowl, I'm not annoyed by that.
Truth. That's been the argument, but you just, I love having the deep, long-term conversation about baseball, because that's part of the thread of the game, because we know what we see today is not going to be what we see in August on any of these teams, whether they're building the steam, they're building momentum, or it's running out of gas. And that's a great thing about the sport. It's that transitional kind of thing. But if we applied that to other sports, man, just call me when it's playoff time.
I will say this for baseball, and it's going to take a while to. Baseball turned off a lot of people because not only is their season too long, their games were so absurdly long.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard. It's a tough TV sport. I've watched a couple games this year. I don't watch games every single day. I watch games here and there. It's so much more viewer friendly now with these clocks.
It helps.
I mean, it is a much better experience knowing that. Listen, I don't want to commit more than 3 hours to a sporting event.
And that's the problem. We love the long ball. We love offense, but offense in baseball
that takes up time.
It just makes the game that much longer. And I'm still going to check out, even if it's 10-8 in the 7th.
A 1-0
go.
game is going to be the quickest.
1-0. I gotta go in the 4th. I gotta go.
But
bored.
Most of again, maybe it's just me, but most games that aren't football, if I tune in the last quarter or the 9th inning, I'm a lot happier than if I see how the meal was cooked. I just want to eat dessert.
So my favorite, and the irony of this conversation is my favorite sport, the thing that really drives my sportsdom, is college basketball. And in college basketball,
the last 2 minutes are
the last 2 minutes are the worst part of the game.
No, there's no doubt.
I mean, if you can just make it to there, just tell me the final, because the timeouts and the free throws and all of that are just going to drive you crazy.
I hate college basketball. I watch so much of it because it's such a beatable game from a betting standpoint that I bet a lot on college basketball. It's my favorite sport to bet on.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a miserable life watching teams from the MEAC play, and like the last 3 minutes of the game takes 30 minutes. It's like, why this game doesn't matter in the grand scheme. Like, no one's going to care tomorrow other than me.
Well,
why am I doing this to myself? But that's life of a sports fan, life of a sports bettor. Even if you love it, at some point you're going to be sick and tired of it.
Well, that's why you joined baseball late,
except for the NFL,
which
I don't know. I just don't get tired of it. I don't like preseason. I don't like practice football. I say all the time, but once games start, I'm like, oh no, it's week 4. we only have like
14
3
more
months
weeks of
left.
this.
Oh, what's going to happen after that?
Well, we'll
I
talk
start to
about it.
feel like the scaries. Oh no, it's going to be March soon, and then we're going to be screwed. We're going to have to watch the Renegades against the Battlehawks,
which no one's going to watch anyway. Did you see Dak at his football camp yesterday?
No.
Yeah, he's hosting camps now.
What's he doing? Is
You
he
know,
wearing
he's-
that boot still?
No, he's out there
Boot-free,
coaching the kids up, being seen.
Good
You know,
news.
He's got money to go get made. So
Man.
this is the time when we enjoy football because it's fun. It's easy.
Well, there's a
Everybody's got
part. There's a
camps.
time where he says, "Look at me. I'm a man of the people, of the community. I'm here to help the children,
giving back to their foundation.
And then
everybody's happy.
They should give him that money. That's what the moms and dads are saying.
We'll see. It's
should
the
give
PR
him whatever
campaign.
he wants. All right. I've got to ask you about something. I read a story yesterday, and I was like, you know what? I've seen this a lot about tip options. I want to discuss tipping in America. This is a touchy conversation, Rob. Be prepared. We'll talk about that next. The Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I have a question for you. Have you opened your kitchen cupboard and looked at a glass and go, no, not that one. It's got white powder all over it. If that's ever happened to you, you don't have a Connecticut.
Oh, I don't.
Because if that has happened, you have got an issue because that's the stuff that made it all the way to your glass. I want you to think about the stuff that began at the pipe into your house. And it made it to your glass. There's a bunch of stuff that stopped in the pipes, that stopped all over in your appliances, like your refrigerator, in your ice maker. That's the stuff that's left over. But there's a lot of stuff that you have never seen that's now stuck in your pipes. And eventually a guy with rubber boots is going to be standing at your front door telling you how much it's going to cost to replace either your fridge or some kind of pipe in your wall is broken. Avoid that problem. Go get the very best water softener treatment program or plan you can find and that's at Connecticut. Right now, Connecticut water softeners who've been taking care of your neighbors for so long have an offer for you that it's really hard to pass up. Listen close. You can have a Connecticut in your home for 90 days without any kind of commitment at all. You'll get the very best and find out why so many other San Antonians and South Texans have taken advantage of a Connecticut. Whether you're on a well or you're on the water system, a Connecticut can save you time, save you money, and add the quality of water you deserve. Call 656-PURE today and get that taken care of. If you need any more details, go to ConnecticutSA.com. I've been a Connecticut customer for years and will be for life. You need to find out what I know. Call them today at 656-PURE. Get a Connecticut in your house. I know you're going to be thanking me later.
94.1.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
My neighbor across the street, his mother died. I paid cash for the car, and he gave me a title with his mother's name on it, and they won't let it get registered.
Yeah, y'all should have just forged it. Now you need to get him to apply for a new title and forge the dead mother's name. And she's damn sure not going to sue you. She's dead.
This is not endorsed by GiveMeTheVin.com.
Not at all.
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning. Check out the YouTube channel, complete with live video stream at jcwshow.com.
It's Jason and Joe from the Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 22nd and 23rd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas. More details and discounted rooms available online at sasportstar.com.
Dave Ramsey here. The only water softener I recommend is a quality water softener from Connecticut. It really is the last water softener you'll ever own.
ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
George gets justice. Hurt in a wreck? Get George. Hit by an 18-wheeler or commercial truck? Get George. Injured at work? Get George. When you're dealing with personal injury, you need to get George because George gets justice. I'm George Salinas, and my San Antonio-based firm has been recognized across the state of Texas and the United States. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. There's still time. The Mattress Firm July 4th sale is now extended. Get a king bed for a queen price. Save up to $700 on Sealy plus a free adjustable base. All with free and fast delivery. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Beyond's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Hope you guys are doing all right. I'm probably an over tipper in general. For full service, my mind says you start at 20%. Like if it's bad service, you're going to get 20%. I do understand there's people frustrated that like if you go to Chipotle, there's a tip option and it's like, well, you're making more than minimum wage.
Are they?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And then on top of that, you're trying to get to like the reason why most people probably know this, but the reason why the tip culture exists is because waiters, bartenders don't make a minimum wage. So the way that they end up getting to a livable wage is they rely on tips. But when you see these people who work at like fast food places or whatever, and they do make a minimum wage and still getting tips, it's like you start to say, okay, well, what's the amount that I tip here?
It makes me think I'm doing the owner's job. Pay your people instead of asking me to pay your people.
Yeah. But the question is how, like, I always have a hard time saying 0 tip. I almost can't bring myself to do it. Like even when I know I would in the past, if I go to Jack in the Box, I wasn't going to be leaving a tip.
Never. What about Sonic?
Sonic, yeah, somebody has to go out and bring you your food.
Well, some of them are drive-through.
I don't tip at a drive-through
ever.
No. But if someone takes the time to bring the food out to my car, there's a difference between counter service and any kind of like delivery. Like if there's a time where even at Whataburger, if they ask me to tip the lady who brings out the food and brings the ketchup and all that stuff, I respect that, because at McDonald's there's somebody who's like,
well,
number 41.
Well, if we do that, we'd have to tip every time we went to Chick-fil-A because everybody's standing.
Well, I don't eat inside Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A's got the most efficient drive-thru
Right.
system.
So do we tip those guys because they're standing out in the sun?
No, because at Chick-fil-A they're making like $20 an hour.
Okay.
You know, Chick-fil-A.
I agree.
Chick-fil-A and I don't know why I can't think.
Bills?
No, the California one.
In-N-Out?
In-N-Out, yeah. Those people make so much money that like they don't even need to ask for tips. They're good. But the reason why this story comes up, and I also think like at a bar, I don't tip 20%. I tip per drink that I order. Usually, it used to be $1 per drink.
That's basically what I still do, unless it's on the, of course, the tab. But that's later.
Right. Well, this guy in California was at the Catalina Lounge in San Diego.
Oh well, if you're in Catalina.
No, he's in Ocean Beach.
Okay. Well,
it's called the Catalina Lounge. There's a picture
Ocean
of
Beach, down by the naval station. I know exactly where he is.
This is a dive bar.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at it as a dive bar.
Yeah.
And he took a photo of his tip options. This is where I get angry. If you present me with the 4 tip options and one of them says if you have to go custom tip, there should be like a 10% option, 15, 20, 25, and then custom tip. I hate when the lowest amount available to tip is 20, 25%. Because again, when it's like at a place where I normally wouldn't tip at all, like for counter service, I'm not going to tip 20%.
When they told you weren't going to use math in high school, they lied to you.
So this guy at this Catalina bar, they presented his tip options. His tab was $24.50. Now, mind you, this is a bar. People are there to get inebriated. The first tip option, 100%.
Nice.
So he would have been tipping $24.50 on a $24.50 tab.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's 50, 25, and 20. And then there's the custom tip or no tip options. My problem with this is if I were at a bar and I were drunk and I see my tab says $24.50, and then I see an option that says $24.50. Yeah, that's what I agree to pay. Now you've just doubled your tab because.
Yeah, but that's on you, man. I gave you choices.
100%
You could have done that on your own, though. I just gave you choice. I don't have a problem with this.
I hate it. It's
going to be to the detriment of his own people because I'm going to look at that and go, well, I'm not going to tip anything. I don't have a problem with him putting it on there. But I will say, pay your people so you don't have to do that. And here's my next rule because of this tip culture. If I'm standing when I order, I'm never tipping again. If I'm standing when I order, I'm not tipping it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But it doesn't always work that way.
If I'm at a counter, if I'm standing, I'm not tipping.
I can't say that firm. You know what? Because like at a barbecue place, I tip because they there's meat cutters and they're not. It's not just people throwing a patty on a fryer. Like it's there's someone who's actually taking care to do work back there.
I agree with your premise. Pay your people.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I'm not tipping.
I'm with you. What if they bring the food out to you?
Well,
when
there's
you
a
order.
couple of places that I will separate. I know that Willie's is the type where you stand and order, and then you get a server that takes care of you. And then that will go according to how often I see the server. I'm not, at that point, I'm no longer bound. I stood when I ordered.
Yeah, that is, Willie's does have that odd thing.
And so I tend to tip because they're very helpful. But at that point, once I've stood and I've ordered,
for me, the rule's always been, do you refill your own drink?
And there's something to that as well.
If someone is coming around bringing me refills,
that
is full service.
Normally at that, and see, Willie's does that though. They come and refill, but my first beer is on me. I'm grabbing it out of the cooler, and other places are like that. But I have come to the point where no longer, even though you hand me the iPad right there, and I have the option to tip, am I ever tipping when I'm standing? I'm just not going to do it. Now, I will tip when I'm taking the takeout order because I know that servers get stuck working the takeout window and they lose tips that night. I will tip there, even though I'm standing when I get it. I get it. I will tip there. But if I'm walking up to a counter and I'm ordering, I'm not tipping. I'm sorry.
Takeout, I go 10%.
Yeah, I will tip because I know getting stuck on a non-tip night when you live on tips sucks.
But also,
so I will tip.
Also, the takeout person is like, what they do is they go into the kitchen, they put your food together, they make sure you've got plasticware or whatever. They make sure your food's not sloshed around. Like, so I respect it.
But I'm sorry, people, if you're working at a place where I have to stand to order and you're working minimum and you're not getting tips, go find another place to work or tell your boss to pay you more. You have enough sway right now. They can't find servers. Go work for somebody who will take care of you. You can leave.
And I think people who have, if you've worked in food service, you look at tips differently, or you've worked in a bar, you look
Anybody
at tips
who's
differently.
ever worked for tips looks at it. I worked for tips for 4 years, man. I get it. But I also know that if I didn't like it, I could leave. And right now, servers have sway. There's not a restaurant in town that has enough servers. Go find a place that takes care of you.
Because boy, I'll tell you what, as a customer, you go to a restaurant and they're like, oh, there's a 35-minute wait. And you see like a bunch of empty tables. Oh,
because they don't have the servers.
It makes me not want to go back to that restaurant.
Well, it's the owner's fault. Pay your people.
That's what
we'll
I'm
be
saying.
back. And if they don't pay, go find another gig. It's not my job to supplement you because your owner won't pay you. There are owners that will. There are owners out there that will take care of you, servers, that will do what is required to keep a well-run restaurant going. Right now, servers have got more sway, more hand than they have ever had. Or go work at Bill's and make $20 an hour.
But I think that the tip culture's gotten out of control, where it's like everybody expects tips now, even people who aren't typically on a tip scale. For instance, my first real job, like where I had worked for a company,
right,
was at Baskin Robbins. I put a tip jar, like I didn't put it up, but we had a tip jar up.
Put it up there. That's fine.
No
but don't
one
expect it.
I never expected any
tips. And if
tips.
it comes, it's because you did something extraordinary.
Yeah.
And hey, that's cool. But if you got the job at Baskin Robbins thinking, I'm going to make a lot in tips.
No,
that wasn't going to happen.
No, that's
and
not
just
how it
because
works.
now you can put it on an iPad and show it to me doesn't mean I need to. And here's the other thing. And I've seen this. This is real. Even though because it says 10% or 25%, there have been cases where they have lied and done the math wrong and upped it. It's not 20, it's like 26% or 27%. But the idiots like you or me that have had too much to drink or aren't paying attention figure, oh, that's 25%. I'll just check that box when the math is wrong.
My next job was at a video store. Like, this was in the days where
Be Kind Rewind.
It was there, like there was more than just Blockbuster. I worked at a
Pop and Go.
I worked at like a mom and pop. It was called Front Row Seat.
Yeah,
and like it had a porno room and everything. So it wasn't Blockbuster. This was like a real video store with a porno room. But when I got there, it was almost always, there was like 3 of us working every night, and we're all a bunch of idiot kids, potheads, and we had a tip jar out, and I was like, who's gonna tip us? Like, what are we doing that warrants tips?
You do something out of the ordinary. I don't mind the opportunity,
but now it's like almost expected. Wherever you're at, there's a tip jar. Gas stations put out tip jars. What? I don't want to interact with the people at the gas. I just want to be able to tap my card and get gas and leave.
You run out and fill my car up, we might be talking.
Yes, that's different.
I might be
full service.
You take the total, just keep it all kind of thing. But tip culture's out of control. So I drew the line about 2 years ago. If I'm standing when I order, you better do something extraordinary for me to tip.
Well,
just handing me my food ain't enough.
It's not a bad rule of thumb. I do think, like I said, if there's any kind of thing where they're bringing the food out from the behind the counter to you,
that's different. The moment you refill my drink, I'm gonna tip.
Yes.
The moment you do that. Now it might not be the 25% that's the first check, because I can do math. I can give you 15%.
I don't like the idea that people are putting 100% or 50% tip options. It just feels like they're
pay your client, your people.
It just feels like they're being sneaky and trying to confuse customers.
And that's
I don't like.
And that I promise you is to the detriment of his employees. It's not helping them.
And more often than not, if you've got a tip policy installed, you're going to get less of a tip from me. Because if I have the part, like if I take like when my in-laws visit, I'll take everybody out to dinner when I was in Vegas, because I got these extravagant free meals.
But if they're gratting you, do you pay the grat? Do you pay more than the grat?
I pay more than what?
Like if they grat you 20%, will you add even more?
Yeah.
See, once you grat me, I'm paying what you gratted.
Yeah. Well, that's a good. So for me, if I go in and I've got a free $500 meal,
well, I'm always going to tip there. I'm not going to not just walk the tab.
If I get $500 covered by the restaurant.
Well, okay, I see what you're saying, and you probably would have spent $300 on the meal anyway. So I'll just give you $300, or whatever it might be.
That's what I'm saying.
Big tip. No, but that's not tipping. That's like, well, I got a great meal. I'm going to make sure my servers are benefiting from this too. I look at this very differently than tipping. At that point, that's just, hey man, we're all benefiting from this.
And we're
all getting the gravy.
Yeah. If there's some sort of you get some sort of discount or something, tip on the full amount.
Yeah, I make up for that. No, once I get that kind of stuff, tipping is out the window, because hey, I'm feasting on free. Guess what, server? This is going to be a good night for you, because I would have spent $150 on this.
That's what
I'm
saying.
So you're getting $150. You know, that's not tipping. That's let's all gather around the trough together, because we're all going to feast. I look at that very differently.
Just don't. But if it's a party of 8 and you're going to automatically tip 18%, you just screwed yourself.
Because that's what I'm paying. If you grat me whatever that grat
that's what
is,
I do. I'll leave it there.
I'm paying, and I might have done 25%, but I'm just going to sign the check the moment I see grat.
That's what I do.
Because you decided your value at that point.
I'm putting that line through it because either your policy said it, or you looked at me and said, "Ooh, I don't know."
But see, I get. You got to make up and vary to the mean. You got to regress. And I was always going to be an over tipper. I would have tipped you more, but I guarantee you, I've been with a lot of people that would have tipped a lot less than the grat that they gave you. So if I'm a server, I'm happy with that, but they do need to know, once you do that, I'm not paying them to anybody.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk more about these young Spurs, and
I wonder how they tip.
I know how Josh Primo tips.
Well, at least I know what the tip looks like, sadly.
It's a Morning Huddle on 94.1.
Idea of living in pain. I know I'm doing this early, Vic, but I was about to jump up and run, and I wanted to talk about Arasti. Arasti providers, we're going to have Dr. Jason Garrett on in a minute, and Arasti providers are all around San Antonio. They get people out of pain as quickly as any other medical provider does because of what they do. It's because Arasti is not about prolonging the pain or prolonging the fix with medications to hide it, don't fix it, with surgery that just prolongs the rehab process. So many things can be fixed with just a hands-on approach that Arasti provides. You get a full evaluation, they find out why you're in pain, and they fix the problem, and more often than not, it goes away quickly. 4 visits on average gets their patients back in the game. What are you waiting on? Arasti providers are all around San Antonio. They accept most insurances, and you don't have to wait. You can go ahead and make the call. You don't need a referral. Write this number down. It's 1-800-404-6050. The website is arasti.com. Listen to me. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. There's a fix out there that has worked for me. It should work for you. That's Arasti. Call them today. Thank me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, are the Spurs still in the market for another player? What about Utah's big fella?
Is Lauri Markkanen on the market or off the market? There's conflicting stories out there. We do know Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes are officially Spurs. We'll hear from them, but the big question wasn't answered. What number is Chris Paul going to wear?
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
I juggle a lot. I'm managing constipation with belly pain from my irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, with laxatives and fiber isn't enough. My doctor recommended a way to get ahead of it. Then I said yes to Linzess.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Are you ready to build your company's dream team? Just like in sports, finding skilled players is essential for success. With Robert Half's winning combination of specialized recruiting professionals and award-winning AI, we'll help you find the MVPs and key role players who will have you hanging banners in the rafters. Because in business, it's all about having the experienced team on your side. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who will pay the mortgage and other bills? Boom. Family protected. Ethos. Fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
This is Jason Minix from The Blitz. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Svitolina and Rebeknia getting underway.
Natasha
Rybakina from the Kazakhstan. Very nice. Your white tennis shorts. Wow,
We've got 2 last names that end in A.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say either one of them.
Yeah.
Svitolina and Rybakina. See, I enjoy watching women's tennis for, it's good as long as the volume is down. I
don't like that?
I can't. And even the men's, I can't watch live tennis anymore. I can turn it down.
Monica Seles started it.
And now everybody has to have a grunt.
I think that's why Monica Seles got stabbed. Is they were like,
just
"You're being
shut
too
up.
loud. Shut up."
But am I alone? I've never voiced this.
No, I don't like loud tennis people either.
It starts to grate on me. And because I have to have it on silent, I actually enjoy John McEnroe. I actually enjoy what he has to say, but I can't anymore because I can't stand to hear turn the crowd mic down. I don't need to hear any of that.
I hated it when I was fighting. When I would be at the gym and there's the people who, when they kickbox, every time they throw a punch, it's like pa, pa,
yeah,
pa, pa. And I guess it's like a breathing thing. Like
I think it is, yeah.
But it drives me so crazy.
And
I'm like, dude, just shut up. And
to take it one step further, that's why I'll never play pickleball. It's too
Are people
loud,
grunting
man.
at pickleball?
Well, that pickleball sound. It's the bouncing
paddle?
wiffle ball paddle sound. That is like the term is it's automata. The cacophony of the pickleball. I can't do it. I guess there's I got some autism in me where it's like overstimulating. I can't stand it.
There's a place right by my my apartment called Pickleball Giant.
See, can you
I
hear
guess
it?
I think it's
okay.
like a pickleball equipment store, but I'm like, the idea that there's like a whole store dedicated to this
it's
is
a cult.
wild now.
You can buy special pickleball shoes now for the sport that you don't even move.
Chris Paul,
who needs pickleball shoes,
he's about a year or two away from pickleball, but Chris Paul, we heard from him. We heard the words from his mouth, and kind of talked about how there was something more important, because I always said, well, he's going to be chasing a ring, right? That's the big deal for him, chasing a ring. And apparently that wasn't it. It wasn't as much about chasing a ring as it was playing time. I was surprised to hear that from Chris Paul. And it kind of made me think maybe I was wrong about the wink deal that will move you to a contender, because if that's actually true, if Chris Paul realized last year that he's like, oh man, my minutes have been cut this much, now I'm going to go somewhere else, my minutes are going to get cut again. Like, you're getting older. He's like, I just want to keep playing. I want to be on the court having an impact. Maybe he is going to be a Spur all season.
No.
You still saying
no? I think your premise is right, and I think if he plays the way he's wanting to play, that's what the Spurs have told him. Look, man, you are here for a short pit stop, like you were at Oklahoma City. Everybody knew you weren't going to be there for long. I'm here for a good time, not for a long time. Let's have a good time. You're going to get minutes. We don't have a point guard. You're going to play a lot, and if you are healthy, if you are what you think you're going to be, and we want you to be all of that. When it comes trade deadline, this little contract's going to turn into a big contract. It'll go away, and somebody's going to sign you to a long-term deal, or you're going to get traded and only get paid nominal, but you're going to leave with a ring. Yeah. And it won't be from us. We're going to trade you to a team that needs you, and it hopefully will guide them to a title. It's a win-win as long as you stay healthy on your side. The Spurs win regardless, because whatever Chris Paul is will rub off in the locker room for at least 8 months.
I agree. Here's what Chris Paul had to say about his opportunities to play here in San Antonio.
Man, the opportunity to play, to hoop, to compete. Obviously, this is a first-class organization, and for me, I've loved nothing more than the opportunity to play and contribute and hoop. And hoop, yeah.
I think he realized last year that it was the first year that he was on a team where he was just kind of like a spare part.
Yep.
And he looked at that as like, oh, this isn't fun. Chris Paul, when he played for the Clippers, if he was injured, it was like, oh, what are they going to do without Chris Paul? Last year, it was like, if Chris Paul was not playing that day, I was like, okay, well, we'll give his minutes to Moses Moody, whoever. Like, they didn't care.
Well, that's why we have to remember what Chris Paul is. Just because he says it doesn't mean it's possible. I mean, yes, he is a thoroughbred. He is a blue chip athlete who has excelled at the highest level. I want him to believe it. He should believe he's still got it. But as has been evidenced by the last 2 years, physically he doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just, so yeah, I love the fact, hey, I'm here to play. Yeah, you went to Golden State to play too. They wanted you to play.
You just couldn't
You weren't
get on the floor
capable
as much.
of it. So he's here for a lot of reasons. One of them is to help us, to help coach up, to inculcate those around him, but also to rehab himself. If he really does have it in the tank, he'll never have a better opportunity to rehab himself and get him back into the ring part of his chase. Right here, it's the best place to be.
Well, here's what he had to say about being sort of the role model to the young guys.
I think a lot of it is because I still look at myself as a big kid. You know what I mean? I get a chance to play basketball every day and say that's my way of life, something I've been doing since I was 4 or 5 years old. But also, I'm so connected to the game from a grassroots standpoint. I mean, I have an AAU team that I'm getting ready to go to Peach Jam here in a week or two. I watch high school basketball, I watch middle school basketball, and I'm a parent too.
Gross.
I have a 15-year-old son, a daughter who's about to be 12. So, I'm not trying to be in the locker room and be their dad or nothing like that. It's just, for me, there's connectivity. And I think the thing that connects us all is this game, right? And always trying to get better.
Imagine watching junior high basketball. What a miserable existence.
He has the premier point guard camp in the country.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his CP3 Rising Stars camp is one that everybody is trying. He is very plugged in, and that's the developmental side of him.
Well, I think that, I mean, even before he signed here, when we were talking about guys that could help the Spurs, and I brought up Chris Paul, I said, even if he can't help on the basketball court, he's going to help with this team, help with the development of this team. And I think there is something to him being here for a year. And I think Harrison Barnes is the same way.
He didn't. But the thing, I don't want people to get lost. Chris Paul didn't get here because he's a giving sort. He didn't get here because I want to help these guys just get better, and I'm going to take less money to do it. No, this is Chris Paul. He got here. What's the best way, the fastest way to get back to where I think I need to be? We are headed toward a ring real soon, or he's going to be on another team real fast.
Well, here's what he talked about the goals for this season.
I mean, we start that stuff in training camp. I'm not here to say we're going to do this or do that. I think we all got to get together and make sure that we understand, what our goals are and what we're going to do to try to help each other get there. I only have one goal every time, and that's to win. Every game. I don't care if it's practice. I don't care if it's shooting contest. I don't think you should play anything if you're just doing it for and giggles.
And I like that mentality. I think he knows there's probably not going to be a lot of winning here this season, or at least not as much as he would like to see. There's no title coming this season. Let's just call it what it is. I mean, barring some sort of miracle. But I think the idea that he wants to go out there and outperform expectation is, I don't think that's just coach speak or just talk. I think that if he's the kind of guy who's going to look at the Vegas number and it'll say Spurs over under 31.5 wins. And he's like, if we don't get 32 wins, this season was a failure.
Oh, absolutely.
And I like that.
Yeah. There's a reason why he's been great and been this great for this long, because the fire burns.
The other new old dog, Harrison Barnes, they talked to him as well. And I mean, they talked to him specifically about that role of being a mentor.
Yeah, sometimes when you say mentor, it makes you sound really old. But no, I definitely look forward to just putting my arm around guys and just getting to work. I think the best way to really connect with guys is just to do your process with them. You know what I mean? It's getting in the weight room, it's getting on the court, it's, the cold tubs, the bus rides, the plane rides, all those type of things. You got to get to know guys on a personal level, you know what I mean, before you kind of get into the nitty gritty of the basketball. So that's the part I'm most excited about. You know what I mean? Just connecting with guys, seeing where everyone's at and just getting to know them that way.
I think he gets it too. And he didn't have a choice in coming here. He got moved. So this wasn't
But he agreed to a kicker to come. He had to agree to this.
Yeah, because he did have a no trade clause, I guess. So he did have a choice, I guess. But I think all these guys are looking at this. And what's funny is in Sacramento, Sacramento is a lot closer than San Antonio is today. Like, now, is Sacramento's upside as high as San Antonio's long term? No. But for a guy like Harrison Barnes, I don't know that he should be thinking long term, but there's something appealing about being here. And I think a lot of it is playing with Wemby. And they asked him about how did that factor into to coming to San Antonio?
He definitely was a part of it. He's a great young player in this league, definitely, on his way to being one of the best. And he was a big part of it, but I think it's the collective overall. It's the organization, it's the people that are here, the people on the team. I think just, since I landed, the warmth I felt from, every single person in this building in an authentic way, not something that's for show or something that's, people are just putting on an act, but I think just genuinely how people are treated here from the people I've talked to, former players that have been here. I think that really made the difference.
It feels like these guys are here for the right reason. And again, I think everybody kind of understands they're not winning 60 games here, but they're looking to be a part of a build. And that's all you can ask of these veterans. All right. Hour number 3 coming up. Got Bonder Franco and some Paris power rankings. Morning Huddle.
On your ride to work, it's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson, KTFM Floresville.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
As you know, summer is right around the corner, and for most people, that means more activities, more golf, more biking, more of whatever you love to do. But if you're dealing with aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. You see, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, and it's been a game changer for so many people. So let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Help fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back. Circus Survivor and Circa Million are now up to a record $16 million in guaranteed prizes. 2 ways to win and no rate. Circus Survivor contestants select one team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all with $10 million guaranteed. In Circa Million, make 5 picks against the spread each week for your share of $6 million guaranteed through quarterly and full season payouts. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. Visit circusports.com for details.
My name is John. I could not lose the weight I needed to. The Institute for Functional Health Wellness program was the answer. It included a great deal of testing, supplements, and weekly face-to-face doctor visits. I finally had the accountability I needed. I am now 50 pounds lighter. I no longer have pain in my elbow, back, and hips. I have more energy and just feel and look so much better.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Euro 2024 is heating up. Catch scenic views of every game at your local lodge with the Twin Peaks girls repping their new jerseys. Order a 29-degree draft, kick back, and watch a tournament play out through July 14th. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, and scenic views.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
94.1 FM. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In Major League Baseball, the Texas Rangers won their 5th straight with a 5-4 win over the Angels in Anaheim. They continue their series tonight. You can catch the game live right here. The Houston Astros snapped their 2-game losing skid with a 4-3 win over the Miami Marlins. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Bum, 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 bum. Morning Huddle. Ladies and gentlemen, Goldfinger asked a question in the chat. If the Spurs are winning, I think he worded as if they're over 500, but let's just say that if they're winning, if they are on their way to a playoff spot, and I know it's maybe not in their best interest, but what happens then? Do they make it look like they're tanking? Because listen, if you're flirting with a playoff spot by the trade deadline, it's probably too late to have a top 5 pick. So
no, all you got to do is get in the lottery.
That's true, but
look, they're not going to be there.
I don't know if I agree with you.
They're going to win a few games, but this is the one thing that Pop is really good at is winning games. He's the winningest coach in NBA history, but he is skillful as hell at losing games. I mean, and it's, we've always said franchises tank, players don't.
Yeah.
I mean, players, film don't lie. What you do stays on tape, and you get paid according to that. But Pop has always been a genius at the team is competitive, or it's fourth quarter, and a strange substitution will happen. He'll bring in a dude that you're like, well, maybe it's for a play, and you don't really notice it. But the guy comes in, and suddenly the team screws up. There's a turnover here and there, missed shot, forced shot. The guy does what he's been doing, and the Spurs lose by 7.
Yeah.
They had a chance. They could have. We walk away going, well, we're young and we made a few mistakes. No, that was manufactured. That didn't appear to be a tank. We used to call it the going Nando de Colo. We had a guy that was a Euro that when he came in, bad things were going to happen. It was just how bad and when it was going to happen, but he was going to make a mistake, and he'd get subbed in with 3 minutes to go because the bad things were going to happen. We lose the game. I'm not worried about that, but I will say they're going to have a what's it called, like a regulator. We're going to have to moderate the temperature here. The thermostat's going to have to be watched real close because the Spurs, as we sit right now, are 15 games better. If we fell out of bed and all things being equal, no significant injuries, the Spurs are going to win 15 more games just by being who they are.
Yeah.
Wemby a year older, Chris Paul, Harrison, Steph. I mean, we're just better. And then there's going to be the games that we lost on purpose last year that we could have won. So you add 2 or 3. Now we're in playoff realms. Yes, this is a legitimate concern. If we have been aiming to use these draft picks, this is the problem with all this. Because you are going to have to come to the decision, are we or aren't we? And when are we going to be an are we? Is it this year? I don't know. I don't think it is. And if it's
but if
not,
it is, do you fight that? Do you push back?
You fight it, because what's the best thing that could happen? You go in as an 8th seed and lose 4 consecutive teams to the number 1 seed in the West.
Okay.
That's the best thing. So you sacrifice an April of contention. You need to be in it to win it and to learn how to do these things. But you also sacrifice some leg strength, and let's get there. If we make it to the playoffs next year, Wemby will have then been playing 10 consecutive months of basketball because he's going to the Olympics.
That's true.
And as soon as the Olympics are done, he'll get a couple of weeks, and then training camp's going to be here before you know it. So we'll be looking at our 3rd year now, pro, having played 10 consecutive months and 150 basketball games. Do we really want to continue to push this guy in April when we know what the outcome will be, a first round out? So there's so many things that are going to weigh into this. So my answer to you, Goldfinger, would be no, they're going to regulate this. They're going to ensure that they are not in a position to where should we or shouldn't we? We don't want to be there.
You think we get a fake Wemby injury at some point this year?
David Robinson missed 6 months with a back injury that ended up getting his head coach fired and Pop taking the job. Yeah, it's possible.
Do you think Wemby is okay with, because I normally you don't care what the players think, but I mean, I do think this is an occasion where what the player thinks matters. Organizationally, do you think he's okay with saying, okay, we're gonna chill out this year?
I think he's like anybody else. As long as you're showing me continued attempts to grow. I mean, I would like to think. And if you tell him, look, man, look at the draft. You've played against Cooper Flagg. You've seen him. You've seen these other guys that are these 5 guys that we're chasing. And keep in mind, every penny that they don't get when those rookie deals, you get. So, do you want to wait a minute and we'll guarantee this super max, which is coming, and have some guys that are going to grow with you? Or do you want us to kind of sacrifice and we'll find out sooner? I don't think it'll be that hard to get a buy-in as long as there's a continuous trend. But I think you only got 1 year of trust us. He's already used 1 of those years. And you get 1 more year of trust us, and then it's going to have to be in the pudding. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It just seems, and I don't know, when you bring in a guy like Chris Paul, it makes me think, okay, he's not going to be okay with losing on purpose, even if it's Greg Popovich pulling the strings on it.
There's discussions.
But that might be a reason why he would be moved. Like, yeah, we don't want to win any more games, so we're going to move you.
If he's capable of even helping.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, this is a crapshoot. It is. There's a reason why 31 other teams or 29 other teams didn't pay him any more than we did. I mean, we got him for a steal.
I'm trying to see. They're not up yet. I was hoping that we were going to have wins up, like how many games
over under.
Yeah, but their win totals aren't up yet. But the Spurs are the 3rd longest shot to win the Western Conference this year. Who do you think the 2 teams with longer odds
than the Spurs now?
Yep.
Portland.
Yep.
Utah appears to be tanking as fast as possible.
Both of them 600 to 1 to win the Western Conference. Spurs 70 to 1.
Yeah, but those 2 are still arrows down because there's they're in the midst.
They don't want to
an arrow up. Yeah,
Portland and Utah we know don't want to win, and they're actively like moving players out to avoid winning. Whereas the Spurs feel like they're starting to add pieces for the long term now.
Spurs need to beat big teams.
They're in the second phase of it.
Yeah, the Spurs need to beat good teams in big time moments. They need to learn to play in the spotlight. They just need to get better. They need to appease the crowd by winning when you can be seen. But those Tuesday nights in Milwaukee when it's a learning game and nobody's paying attention, other than the Spurs fans, those are the games that are going to be lost, that are going to keep them in that 38 to 40 win, nearly play-in places where the Spurs need to be. That's if you had a 15-game improvement, ain't nobody going to be mad at anybody anywhere.
No,
at any point, and on any team, even though you already have a Wemby. That's a huge turnaround.
And then the Hawks, the Vegas market, this worries me. The Vegas market gives more respect to the Hawks than I would have thought. The Hawks are the 9th favorite in the Eastern Conference, which means there are 6 teams projected worse than the Atlanta Hawks in the East.
Yeah, and they're going to fall ass backwards into some wins just because the East is shallow. I mean, there are a couple of teams that are on the top, and everybody else is just trying to figure out where to go. And that's why those two, both the Spurs pick and the Atlanta pick, are so important to be kind of kept together, because something could happen weird in Atlanta, and they could make the playoffs. I mean, if the East is so strange that it won't take that big of a difference from where they were to where they need to be to get into the playoffs in the East.
Let's say somehow you've got the 4th and the 8th pick again next year, just like this year.
Dream.
Just hypothetically. Are you picking 4th and 8th, or are you trying to package them with something else to move up?
You're taking the 4th round pick, just you're taking this one. Now, anything after that, I think, is up in the air. But at the 4th pick, you are getting next year's 4th round pick would easily overall pick would easily have been the overall number 1 pick this year.
Okay.
Anybody in the top 5, Reese would have been a 6th pick, 7th pick at best. That's to tell you how shallow this draft was and how important it is to be just in the room for the lottery next year, because it's that much better.
It's nice that there's still this to look forward to, but you also probably aren't going to have to suffer through like a miserably embarrassing season again.
No, but to get there, they're going to have to lose some games that we all know probably should have been won. And that's going to be, it's always a hard pill to swallow.
But you know what, man? Last night watching that game, it's like, I know that's not the Spurs that we saw last night. That's just like, it's like 2 or 3 Spurs and a bunch of kids who are going to be playing in Lithuania. But you can still see that this isn't an overnight thing. This isn't a microwave team. They're not just going to suddenly be amazing. The potential's there, and if Wemby improves by 10%, this team is no longer a laughing stock level team. But it's not. Like I heard when you were on yesterday, I tuned in to hear you with Pledger yesterday evening, and he said, if you add Lauri Markkanen to the roster now, this is a top 4 team in the West. And I was like, whoa. I think and I get it. Again, it goes back to what I say about Devin Vassell. When it's your guys, you think of them differently than the rest of the world does. I don't think the Spurs are a Lauri Markkanen away from being a 4 seed in the Western Conference. I do think that they're building towards trying to be a playoff team. I disagree with you a little bit. I think if they made the playoffs this year, they'd feel really good about their trajectory. And I think they look at it as almost a recruiting thing, because people are going to say, okay, if Wemby is with this squad, Wemby is in the playoffs, what happens if I go there and play with him? Let
me caveat what I'm saying with the Spurs. And the reason why that Atlanta pick is so important. If Atlanta is obviously tanking and they still have the pick, you're in the room. You're already there. Then you can kind of start thinking about playoffs. You know what I mean? But you've got to make sure that you're in this for for one of those top 8 picks, because it's that good. And if Atlanta's pick is there and you're going to be in the lottery, you're going to have enough balls, hey man, go for it, because every team has to pass these certain, you can jump a step, but eventually you're going to have to pass that step. And it's learning to win on the road. It's learning to win when your players are hurt. It's learning to win when your coach is making bad decisions. There's things that teams have to go through internally to win a title, no matter what. Sometimes you pass them all in the same year, but you had to go through them. Sometimes it takes 4 or 5 years. Like Denver had to go back and they missed a step and then they jumped forward. Minnesota was the surprise team this year. And they reached a step that they are going to have to pass. They're going to have to learn how to win on the road. I mean, you just couldn't figure it out. The Spurs aren't there yet. But if you pass those tests, I'm not against turning it off, but you better have a lottery pick. You better have it, because that will be a monumental whiff if all this circumventing and getting all these picks, you got to use them at some point.
Well, Pledger asked you yesterday, like, what incentive do the Hawks have to lose if they don't have the pick? The Hawks have to rebuild whether they've got a pick this year or not.
Right.
You can't, you don't want to, I mean, you're not trying to win for the sake of winning when you know you're not going to win anything. When you they want to start trading away assets to get more picks.
I would like to think that's where they're going, and I expect that to happen. But we just talked about they have more respect in the East than the Spurs have in the West, and they are actively trying to lose.
109er says, AJ, you got that from watching Summer League. You didn't watch the Spurs last year.
About how bad they are.
You didn't watch the Spurs last year as a statement. Watching Summer League was a question. Here I watched, and I don't pretend like I watched every Spurs game. I watched probably 6 Spurs games all season last year.
Like watching the JV and deciding what the talent's level.
And the truth is, from an outsider standpoint, it's so painfully obvious that the Spurs, with the exception of Wemby, don't have an NBA roster. Like, it is not a roster that is anywhere close to competitive. If Wemby wasn't on the Spurs, this would be the worst roster in the NBA. This would be worse than the Wizards. It would be worse than the Pistons. I mean, you know what? I shouldn't say that because the Brooklyn Nets exist now. But last year, without Wemby, they would have been the worst roster in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So when I
by
said
design, though,
so that when I said that about the Summer League, what I'm saying is, even if those guys end up being good, they're not a couple rookies away from being a good team. Like this, there's still a long way to go, is what I'm getting at.
And even with really, really good rookies, you're still a couple of years away, because really good rookies are just really good rookies. I mean, they got a long way to go. And we're seeing it last night. These are a bunch of, that's what NBA rookies look like last night.
Yeah.
That's what they look like. Scoot Henderson last year had the body, the build, and the prep to be an NBA player.
And looked like he didn't belong on the floor.
Stumbled around for 6 months. So, yeah, even though you add a stud like Stephen Castle, there's work to be done.
And 109er says, what about 2 vets? That's the thing. Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes are, at this point in their career, they're not guys you add to turn a bad team into a good team. They would be like the final touches on a good team, but those guys aren't going to make this team good. I think the value with Barnes and Chris Paul is much more of a building, like a team building value. Like they will show these guys what it takes to win, what it takes to be pros, because this is a young team. This was the youngest team in the league before they added those guys. But Harrison Barnes, the player, Chris Paul, the player, are not impact guys, not like that kind of impact guys anymore. Though, like if this were 5 years ago and they added Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, I'd be like, whoa, they're taking a big swing. This is like you added some mid-level exception guys.
Well, I've been saying that Wemby's worth 10 more. Paul is worth 5 more. Barnes is worth 3 more. So 17 wins that we can add just because these guys are here. But
that's a lot.
It is. Well, I mean, that's 17 games. But if you think of it like this, I don't think Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes are going to change the trajectory of the team. But what they will do is, if you're in a game where we lost last year just because of ineptitude, Coach Pop drew up a play, they couldn't run it, they turned the ball over and they lost. We didn't know it as fans what happened, but the locker room knew, dude, we just blew that. You missed the pick. That won't happen anymore, because you've got vets who aren't going to make those mistakes. So those games that are really nip and tuck, those are the ones that suddenly you start winning. because you're not going to miss the pick. Chris Paul's going to make the pass.
If you want to win.
Yes. So you now have a little bit more control of those games. So you go, there were probably 9 games last year that the Spurs were within 6-8 points with 3 or 4 minutes to go and just fumbled it away. There was a legitimate tries to win. We wanted to see if these guys could do it, and they couldn't. Those games are now wins if you want them to be, because you'll have Harrison Barnes in there instead of Julian Champagny. You're going to have Chris Paul in there instead of name your random Blake Wesley. You're going to suddenly have guys in there that might not make the play to win it, but aren't going to make the play to lose it.
You're starting to get a roster with NBA quality players.
Yeah, so you win games just because you win.
Last year you didn't have an NBA roster.
So they'll be better for that, but not playoff first round upset the number 1 or 2 seed win. No, they're not even close to that.
That's 3 years away. All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, I want to talk about this Wander Franco. What a wild story, but it looks like he's finally going to be charged. We may be seeing some progress here. We'll talk about that next. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, are the Spurs still in the market for another player? What about Utah's big fella?
Is Lauri Markkanen on the market or off the market? There's conflicting stories out there. We do know Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes are officially Spurs. We'll hear from them, but the big question wasn't answered. What number is Chris Paul going to wear?
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Ooh, I'm so ready for this weekend away with my girl.
Hey, hit the road? How about some free gas?
Free gas? How?
Try new Febreze car for some serious freshness and you can win gas for a full year. Visit Febreze.com to learn more.
Say less.
You may not win, but you're gonna have a fresh smelling whip.
Thanks, DJ Fresh. Now how about some music?
Hey, yo, this next one goes out to new Febreze car for giving you a chance to win free gas.
La, 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 la.
No purchase necessary. Must be 18 to enter in 73124 for rules and how to enter. Visit Febreze.com.
The wait is over. Dell Technologies Black Friday and July deals are live. Check out incredible savings on select laptops and more, like the XPS 15, powered by Intel Core processors. The XPS 15 brings you the perfect balance of power and portability, plus stellar visuals and immersive sound. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics, plus free shipping on everything. Don't miss out on Black Friday and July savings at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Hi, everyone. Broadcaster and ER physician, Dr. Jerry Punch here. We all know about the speed of sound, but have you ever thought about the sounds of speeding? If you drive over the speed limit, there are lots of sounds that you might hear. You could hear the sound of your vehicle crashing, the sound of first responders desperately trying to save you. You could even hear the sound of people crying at a funeral. Because if you drive over the speed limit, you could do damage that's beyond repair. One way or another, speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Have you ever lifted a piece of furniture only to discover the carpet underneath looks brand new while the rest of it looks... That's when you realize you need new carpet. At the Home Depot, we have a wide selection of all the top brands. Best of all, installation is included. So all you need to do is choose something that matches your style. Start your carpet project today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Installation included with qualifying purchases. Exclusions apply. For licenses, see homedepot.com/license numbers.
Lowe's knows owning a project means owning the right tools.
And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of the V20 string trimmer or leaf blower for only $99. Find these savings and more today. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/10 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Dive into the Marvel Universe on the official Marvel Podcast. We're going behind the scenes with the creators behind Marvel Comics, the stars of the MCU, and Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige.
But if you want the real answer, if we're trying to get real on this podcast,
celebrate the legacy of your favorite Marvel adventures and characters. The official Marvel Podcast.
I think this show's going to be a real treat.
New episodes every Wednesday wherever you listen to podcasts.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem. And it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind. They're at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime.
Just a small town girl.
Oh my
living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere.
See, you would be not in a tribute band. You'd be in a cover band.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Well,
just a city boy.
You're going to have to go form your own band.
Born and raised in South Detroit. It took the midnight train going anywhere. Singer in a smoky room. Smell of wine and cheap perfume. Oh, I see. We just got banned from YouTube because they thought that was the actual Journey song.
No, that's not the reason.
Oh,
that's an entirely different reason.
Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard. Eclipse is who we're talking about. It's a tribute to Journey. You can see him at the Aztec Theater. Win a pair of tickets to see Eclipse, a tribute to Journey.
I've actually seen this band.
Summer Jam 2024 live July 13th. That's Saturday.
Yeah.
Huh. Aztec Theater. You want to go see Eclipse? Be caller number 9.
Okay. I was going to say, how hard are we going to make Vic
Is
work?
that a niner? Yeah, niner. And if you are caller number 8 or caller number 10, that sucks, but you can still get tickets at livenation.com.
Aztec's a good theater.
I've never been.
You'll enjoy it when we finally go.
Working hard to get my fill.
So there was Steve Perry.
Everybody wants a thrill.
And then there was the Asian Steve Perry.
Mm-hmm.
And now the lead singer of Eclipse is a female.
Oh, what?
To hit those notes.
Well, you just heard me hit them.
Well, no, you didn't hit them. You beat them up.
What?
You battered them. I wouldn't say hit them.
Man, you are a hater.
I'm not a hater.
I think you kind of are.
No, I'm not. I'm doing you a service. Don't ever do that in public again. You can sing to the Lord in the church, let it go. Anywhere else? Everybody got time for that.
I think a lot of people thought that was pretty good.
No, they don't. They did not. They thought their Spectrum service had somehow fritzed out and the sound quality had collapsed.
Vic, we get a ruling? What'd you think of my singing? Tell that guy to
It was good.
See, all right.
Yeah.
2-1. You lose.
Sycophant.
You lose,
Suck
buddy.
up.
You lose, Bubba. That was a hell of a Steve Perry personation, man.
That was a personation.
I ain't heard none better. Vander Franco is...
Been nice knowing you.
Yeah, well, okay, so here's the deal. It looks like this isn't... it ain't over for Vander, but he is now officially charged with sexually abusing a minor. We've expected this for some time. It's actually been pretty quiet on the Vander Franco front. But Vander I don't know what the age of consent is in the Dominican Republic, but it ain't 14.
I gotta assume it's more than that.
It ain't 14. And it seems like even if you pay the parents, you're not allowed to have sex with a 14-year-old gal in the Dominican.
A good thing. That's a good thing.
That's the, I mean,
it's a good rule to keep.
I'm all for law and order, and I think 14 in any country is too young for a 20-something man to be hooking up with.
Just go ahead and put this guy under the Dominican prison and let's move on from this trash. Can we? I mean, the fact that we're talking about a pedophile that has at some point made a little bit of money, go put him under the prison and let's move on. Wander Franco. Let's wonder what the hell happened to this petter ass. Get the hell out of here, man. It just gives me the ick factor beyond belief.
Now, here's what I believe, and I think they did the right thing here. Because Franco was paying this girl's mom thousands of dollars in cash and gifts in exchange for consent. And I was like, okay, that's terrible. But it seems like if Franco's going down, mom should be in some trouble too, right? Well, she is. The indictment includes the girl's mom.
Yeah,
I said, that's good,
her daughter
man.
Out, man. What are
You can't just blame this dude, which, I mean, you can blame him, but you can't blame just him because mama's involved in this as well. If you're taking money and gifts and saying, okay, well, that's all right then. Franco's on administrative leave through July 14th. That was agreed upon by Major League Baseball and the Players Association.
Yeah, this is a union process. It's like, this is the first step in throwing him out of the union in the league. They had to do this.
July 14th is Sunday. Mm-hmm. That is the day after the Eclipse concert at Aztec Theater. Also, the last day of the All-Star break.
It all comes together.
It all comes together. He was on administrative leave for the last several weeks of last season, which is basically what they do if you are being investigated for domestic violence, child abuse, sexual assault, whatever. You're placed on this administrative leave list. At the end of the season, he was put back on the 40-man roster, and they had this agreement to basically start the season on administrative leave again. And what it did was allow them to take him off the 40-man roster so they could add another guy to the 40-man roster. He will likely, I don't know if he'll ever play baseball again. My guess is not in
prison
America.
Yard. Yeah, he'll play in the prison.
But if he were to come back, like let's say somehow he's found not guilty and comes back, the Rays will still own his rights, but he could still be suspended, a la Trevor Bauer, it's been proven is really done nothing wrong except be into weird sex stuff, which, to each his own. We had a story earlier about furries.
I don't care.
I don't know that Trevor Bauer was into that.
But we can agree that when you're in a situation like that, you do need to be separated from the game.
Yeah.
I mean, Bauer needs to be exonerated and all the other kind of stuff. The headline should be just as big with the exoneration as the accusation.
Yeah, he was.
But I think there's a process when we're dealing with this kind of thing that, unfortunately, when it's this bad, you're going to have to step away. But we have back in the door once we've kicked him out.
Well, this one's more...
But for Wander Franco, man, I don't care if he has enough money to buy off the Dominican justice system. Dude, I think we can all agree the facts have been proven and admitted to that you were sleeping with a 14-year-old girl and paying off the mother and the family to do so.
That's the problem.
Enough for us to say, You can't come back here.
With Trevor Bauer, he was accused of rape, essentially, and there was evidence that said the rape didn't happen. This woman was trying to get money from him. We do know they still had rough consensual sex, but once that's it, there's no crime. There's no way to have sex with a 14-year-old girl that isn't crime.
Right. So
there's no consensual way to have sex with a 14-year-old girl unless you're also 14, and I don't even know what the rules of that would be. But there's no way out of this. But here's the deal. The judge in this case is next going to have a preliminary hearing, which is basically a trial of the evidence in the Dominican. The judge will look at the evidence and say either legal requirements for charges are met or they aren't. And at that point, the judge can either accept, reject, or change the charges against Franco and the mom. And then when that's set, that's when a trial would happen. So that's where we're at now. We haven't reached trial time, but it's getting close. You want to hear something that's terrible about me?
Yes.
Literally a week ago, I was looking for a fantasy baseball player, and I was like, boy, I haven't heard anything about Wander Franco in a while. Maybe he's not going to be in trouble. I could just pick him up and stash him and and I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I considered it. Is that evil to
Well, again, once proven, no, it's evil. That's
like
awful.
would you take OJ on your fantasy team? I mean, he's dead now, but
well, was he going to get,
I don't know. Could he
20 carries a game?
Give me listen,
he's not a terrible guy. He just had some anger issues. He just had a few issues with the help and maybe look,
the knife slipped, her head fell off. It wasn't my fault.
The crazy thing on this is, this Wander Franco thing won't go away. Like, my God, we all know what happened. This administrative stuff, we know it's prolonging. And I don't know how much money he's got invested in the Dominican justice system, whether he's going to get off or not. But we all know the court of public opinion, this is over. It's done.
Over.
But, baseball still hasn't closed the investigation, though. Everybody agrees on the facts, I think, except for Wander. I want you to count the number of days that this thing has gone on with Wander Franco, and then compare them to the number of days that have gone on in the investigation and the completion of the Ohtani millions of dollars. That was over in a weekend. Like, oh no, we've nothing to see here.
Well, they got their pound of flesh. It just didn't come from Ohtani.
So, I mean, you get if Wander, I think could pitch and hit.
Yeah. Maybe he'd have something.
Then maybe we would question his innocence or not.
Now, here's my question, and you might know the answer. He signed a $182 million extension back in 2021.
Major League Baseball unbecoming.
But Major League Baseball, I think it's like hard and firm.
There's a rider in every contract. Conduct unbecoming of either that will get him out. They're not going to pay him that.
Did Bauer get his money?
That's going to be a little bit different. I don't know how that's worked out, but I can assure you, in every professional contract, there is you tarnish the shield, you tarnish the team, and whether it's been delineated as what you are and aren't allowed to do or not, there ain't a judge going to make you pay him.
All right,
nowhere.
When we come back, we'll talk to Dr. Jason Garrett. Missed him last week. We'll catch up. We'll catch up on all the news of all these broken down old athletes. And see what could he do to fix them. We'll do that next. It is the Morning Huddle right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM.
Trane heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit TraneInfo.com to find your local independent dealer. TraneInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasik.com.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind. They're at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
With T-Mobile, you can get tons of benefits and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Because nobody likes having to choose. It's like getting romance and sci-fi.
Jane, I love you. Also, I'm a robot.
Or being a dog person and a cat person.
Who wants a treat? Who's a good boy?
Or like being an extrovert and an introvert.
Woo! This is so fun! I can't wait to go home.
At T-Mobile, you don't have to choose. You can get the benefits you want and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. See how much you can save with our savings calculator at T-Mobile.com/switch. Plus, when you switch, you can keep your phone and we'll pay it off up to $800.
Via virtual prepaid card in 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device, credit service, and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months. See T-Mobile.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Joel, I'm proud to introduce my latest in-summer relaxation relief-cation. I call it the Quarter Moon Grill and Go. It's a stainless steel propane gas grill with this, a full-size urinal. If you're gonna grill and you gotta go, it's the Grill and Go.
Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, we fix plumbing and AC issues fast and at a fair price. 210-651-5899.
Grill and
go away, Nigel. Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC.
License number TACLA 88589E M16004.
The Golf Club of Texas has some of the best course conditions with the friendliest staff. The golf is great. They have lighted driving range and practice area. While it feels like a country club, it's not a private club. It's open to the public, so bring the family into the Tin Cup Bar, the nicest sit-down restaurant in that area of San Antonio, specializing in Texas food, wine, and spirits. For golf or dinner, go to the Golf Club of Texas off Highway 90, online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, are the Spurs still in the market for another player? What about Utah's big fella? Is Lauri Markkanen on the market or off the market? There's conflicting stories out there. We do know Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes are officially Spurs. We'll hear from them, but the big question wasn't answered. What number is Chris Paul going to wear?
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Little San Antonio cheese.
I like learning the dirt, baby. I like it. I like being filled in on what goes on behind the scenes, in the dark corners of San Antonio's underbelly.
There's a podcast there.
Maria Zurita.
Congrats.
Congratulations. She's just a small town girl.
Born and raised in
Listen, a lot of people liked my singing. Some people
No, they don't.
are pretending like they didn't. Actually, some people apparently didn't like it. The 109er said lock him up. I don't know if he's talking about me or Wander Franco, but he says lock both of them up.
I think
It could be both
you
of
deserve
us.
time somewhere.
Let's go to the phones, to the Buyers Barricade guest line, and talk to our man from Erasti, Dr. Jason Garrett. Hello, fine doctor. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you guys?
Lovely. I hope you had a wonderful 4th of July. Didn't blow off any appendages or anything. Is that safe to assume?
Yep, I am fully intact.
Are you in town? Did you spend any time away? Were you vacaying over the 4th?
I was here the entire time. Once we got back from Cabo, we've been laying low.
Well, tough life after Cabo. When's the next competition?
The CrossFit Games, the World Championships are in 1 month. They are actually being held in Fort Worth this year at the Dickies Sporting Arena, so it's going to be a big deal in about a month.
Are you working it, or are you working it?
I'm working it. I will not be competing at it.
Well, I know you have in the
So
past.
he's taking care of people is
Yes.
what it boils down to. Well, let's get into what's going on in the wide world of sports. Tyler Glasnow pitched like crap a week ago, and then apparently was just playing catch over the weekend, and now is on the injured list. They're saying it's back tightness. It coincides with the All-Star break. My initial thought was he just doesn't want to pitch in the All-Star game, so they're making up an injury for him. But I guess there is a possibility that that could have been why he performed poorly last time out. When you're talking about back tightness, is that just sort of a case by case thing, or is this like, would you assume this is just the minimal stay on the injured list?
Well, I know Rob has probably experienced this. I know I've experienced this, and I'm not sure about you and your age and physical condition, but more than likely, almost everyone listening right now is going to have some back tightness at one point or another. Sometimes debilitating, sometimes out of the blue, sometimes doing something as simple as like shoveling your dog poop in the backyard to lifting a 500-pound deadlift. There's really, unfortunately, with your back, there's so many variables to it that it's really hard. It's one of the easiest things, like you said, if you want a good excuse not to do something, you've got back tightness. But then again, there's a good chance he really does have it. So if it's just back tightness and they're not saying it's any major structural damage, then he's literally going to be day-to-day. He could be fine tomorrow, and then he could be terrible the day after.
The interesting thing, Doc, that the guys that are Rosti have taught me over the years is, why you might be dealing with back tightness, the problem might not even be in your back. It might be, hamstrings or whatever it might be. When you're dealing with that kind of tightness, what's the treatment? Is it just rest? Are you treating it like it's an injury? Or are you just hoping it doesn't get worse?
Rest is usually the worst thing you can do because you start to feel better and then it does nothing to fix the problem. So almost always it's a muscular imbalance. Like you said, the hamstrings, more than likely the hip flexors are going to be involved, especially with a pitcher because it's such hip flexors are, they're working basically against each other in a rotary motion. So if you're getting all your power from your core rotating and your shoulders coming through, there's a lot of hip flexor issues. And so if one is too tight, it's going to put a lot of stress on the low back. So you want to identify that. From a treatment standpoint, obviously work on all the tight stuff, make that better, and then rehab it by trying to stabilize the opposite muscles. So let's say his left hip flexor is super tight, then you want to make his left glute really, really strong and hamstring to balance that out.
Makes sense.
To answer your question, I'm a world-class athlete. I'm in incredible shape. So I've never even dealt with a back issue. I don't know what that would be like.
He's a specimen, Doc.
That's right.
He's a specimen in the finest order.
Dak Prescott, Dakota was spotted in a walking boot while deep sea fishing. Apparently a precautionary walking boot. Is that what you have to say when you're spotted in a walking boot and you're asking your employer to give you $55 million a year? Or is there something we should be concerned about? Because when they say, yeah, same ankle, same issue, which now that same ankle, same issue dates back to 2020. Like, is there any reason in your mind for concern? Like, have you ever heard of someone who hurt their ankle 4 years ago wearing a precautionary walking boot
to ward off an ankle
fishing?
injury while fishing?
Or that sounds nonsensical to me. Maybe you can. Is there any legitimacy to what's being said here?
So if you remember his ankle surgery fracture, it was terrible. I mean, all kinds of things were torn and broken. There was a good chance he was never going to play again, or at least not at a high level for sure. So one, he's already exceeded expectations there. But two, there's a ton of scar tissue. There's all kinds of stuff in there, which if I was a betting man, I would say he's probably walking around in some cheap flip-flops or even expensive flip-flops, which when you already have foot dysfunction, it's going to lead to plantar fasciitis, which is extremely painful. And so if you put a boot on, it takes all the pain away. You're not going to be limping around. So I would hope that's the issue, and it's not like he sprained his ankle real bad or has a partial tear of his Achilles and he's got to wear a boot for the next 6 weeks. I would assume it's more like pretty straightforward plantar fasciitis due to the previous catastrophe his ankle incurred.
You know, he said he wore it like the last time he went fishing because of the way the rocking of the boat or whatever. He had some inflammation and some swelling, post boat. Is that in itself something to worry about, or is that just something he's going to have to deal with for the rest of his life? I mean, the fact that your ankle swells up.
I mean, my joints, they swell up when I go fishing too.
But but I'm not playing on Sunday.
That's from the beer and that's from beer and dehydration.
Is it really? I mean, is that a legitimate thing? I mean, that it is from the beer and all that.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you're drinking a lot of beer and you're not really hydrated, your joints are going to swell. It's going to find any inflammation in the body and make it worse. But for Dak to be on a boat, unless he was fishing during the Hurricane Beryl, there really shouldn't be that much trauma on an ankle of a world-class NFL football player who's getting hit by the fittest, strongest, fastest men in the world. I think that's a little bit over precautionary.
And again, I feel like you're seeing me when you talk about joint swelling when you drink too much beer. But I digress. Dane Dunning, the Rangers pitcher, goes to the IL with shoulder soreness, which typically, okay, you're a pitcher. It's we're getting into July. Your shoulder's getting tired, but this is the second time this season he's been on the IL with just what they're calling general shoulder soreness. Does that become concerning when this is the second time it's happened in a season? Is there a possibility that there's something underlying? Like, would you expect that maybe we're looking at a postseason surgery or something like that?
There's a chance, but the fact that he's still throwing, I wouldn't bank on surgery. Here's the crazy thing about Major League Baseball pitchers. They did a study on them. They took an MRI of 100 Major League Baseball pitchers that had no shoulder pain whatsoever. Of those, 80% had labral tears and 75% had rotator cuff tears. So if there's something going on in there and you overthrow and you inflame one of those tears, it's going to cause some soreness. It doesn't necessarily mean you need surgery. Sometimes you just have to shut it down for a little while and then in the off season figure out what biomechanics are causing that and fix those imbalances.
Last one before we let you go, Doc. At the furry convention in Pittsburgh, a gal got chopped with a sword and her finger was nearly amputated. Like, if it doesn't get all the way cut off, does that mean it's salvageable, or is her finger possibly just going to have to be removed
and
replaced? I mean, technically, even if it was a clean chop and they got it to the surgery pretty quick, you can put a finger back on that's been completely removed. If it was a pinky, though, you may want to, depending on your status or what you want to do, you may just want to let that one go.
And that's the beauty of when you are having sex and get attacked with a sword. It's lucky to be wearing a costume because your finger it's not going to get lost.
It's going to hold it there.
It's there in the suit.
You've already got like a tourniquet built in.
That's,
go ahead and attach it right there.
And honestly, if there's any reason to do it, I guess that would be it. Dr. Jason Garrett from Arosty.
On that note,
yeah, you're teaching us new things every week. We appreciate it, Doc. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Doc.
Dr. Jason Garrett from Arosty, and all guests, including Dr. Garrett, appear via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades provide traffic control rental and sales for San Antonio and beyond.
What's the name of that?
At buyersbarricade.com.
The furry convention, the
AnthroCon.
I wonder if Arosty is required at a convention like that. I mean, they're doing some interesting stuff. You got to keep yourself in the game.
Attempted murder is interesting
I'm just
stuff.
talking about it's not easy to do what they're doing in those costumes. You got to limber up. You might pull a hammy. You got to get back in the game.
True.
Maybe you only got about 48 hours of this convention.
And it makes you wonder, does Dane Dunning's shoulder injury coinciding with AnthroCon?
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? It all comes together.
Imagine Dane Dunning is like, he's faking an injury because what he wants to do is be the Rangers mascot for a couple weeks. So he's going to dress up as that horse.
What is the sexiest Major League? What is the one, if you were into that, if there was a mascot of all the Major League mascots, which would be the one that would be the most likely? Like, what's Rowdy is a perv. You can tell Rowdy is probably using that costume away from the game, the Cowboys mascot.
Yeah.
He probably drives a panel van in that costume and doing some stuff. That's probably not in there. But
Also a perv is the San Diego Padre.
Is it a Padre?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah,
No,
you can't trust him.
I mean, because of all the mascots, I'm trying to think of one that's even remotely close to fuzzydom or furrydom. That would be in there.
What about the Baltimore Oriole?
Isn't that just a bird?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a.
Is it? I mean, do they have a legit?
Oh yeah,
mascot in a bird.
Yeah, a mascot costume
is
bird.
It sexy? Is it cute? Can we tell if it's a male or a female, or is it just a bird?
I mean, I assume it's a male or a female.
I would think if I
can't
was
tell.
a furry, no matter what
if I see a bird, I can't tell if that a dude bird or a girl bird.
You kind of tell by the lipstick.
I don't think the Baltimore Oriole wears lipstick.
Well, then I mean it's a male.
That's okay.
See?
What about the Philly Fanatic?
See, that's what I'm saying. If you're a Philly Fanatic, are you a top or a bottom? Really, that's my question.
What about Orbit, the Astros mascot?
Oh, definite bottom.
You think? Oh, my. That's a bold statement, friend. That is a bold, bold statement. We'll be back. Hour number 4 coming up, baby. We got more fun and frivolity here on the Morning Huddle. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance, because giving you options is the right thing to do.
Oh, yeah, like bringing brownies to a dinner party. But I never bring brownies with nuts, because not everyone likes nuts, so they wouldn't eat those brownies. And even people who do like nuts will still eat brownies without them. Why? Because they're brownies.
But still, it's the right thing to do. So compare rates with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyer4us.com.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-785-9545. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, Help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-785-9545 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-785-9545 to see if you qualify. That's 800-785-9545.
With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. From high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone, including blackjack tournaments. From the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, the Big Blind is locally owned and operated, offering daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 and Redland Road.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at tsaog.com.
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back. Circa Survivor and Circa Million are now up to a record $16 million in guaranteed prizes. 2 ways to win and no rate. Circa Survivor contestants select one team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all with $10 million guaranteed. In Circa Million, make 5 picks against the spread each week for your share of $6 million guaranteed through quarterly and full season payouts. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. Visit circasports.com for details.
Testosterone levels in men can start to decrease as early as 30 years old, and long-term health risks can be extremely damaging to your body. Rock's Discount Vitamins carries a variety of natural testosterone boosters that can immediately provide you with more energy, increased libido, increased metabolism, and improve your mood. Rock's Discount Vitamins natural testosterone boosters can even help you build muscle and lose weight faster. With 11 San Antonio locations, visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. Thanking God and South Texas for all the support.
San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio Sports Center.
In Major League Baseball, the Texas Rangers won their 5th straight with a 5-4 win over the Angels in Anaheim. They continue their series tonight. You can catch the game live right here. The Houston Astros snapped their 2-game losing skid with a 4-3 win over the Miami Marlins. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle. Rob and AJ, the final hour of Hump Day. For us, anyway. The Blitz they've got a full day ahead of them. I think they're going to be on. They might be on air for 4 hours today.
Yesterday, they
bunch of half-timers
did a bunch of internet radio, which we appreciate.
I heard that they did that. I don't know if they really did it. And they were half-assing if they did it. They mailed it in.
But if it's internet, were they allowed to cuss?
Yeah,
they've gone full podcast on that.
So when when I was in Houston, I was a program director. We would do the during the NCAA tournament, we had to run games all day,
right?
So we would do an internet only show or a stream only show, or the app. So it wouldn't go. We had an app, so it wouldn't go over the air. But if you listen on the app, you could hear. And it was the bluest comedy. It was vile what we were doing, but it was fun. It's nice to get on the air and get on a microphone and just
make sure
let loose. But yeah, I'm guessing they probably didn't curse because they're not that type. They're not those kind of guys. I say bad words, so I would have just cussed. But then Dax probably would have texted me and said, "Hey, stop cussing on the internet," and then I would have had to stop cussing.
Does he even listen? I'm not even sure he listens.
Not to the Blitz. No. Yeah, you're right. No, they're not listening. He's not listening to that show. The Olympics are coming up, and Team USA obviously is your favorite to be the champions of at least the men's basketball. Like, I don't know if they're going to win everything, but
America.
We're expecting
if we don't
them.
win, they cheated.
That's the way I would look at it. But Team USA is a -500 favorite to win the whole damn
I don't think it's that
enchilada.
You know, obviously it should be that, but I don't see it as that big of a separation. I don't see it as just an absolute foregone conclusion. It should be, and Vegas is telling me that, but the French are pretty good. The Spanish, they're pretty good. They're good teams. And I've seen our Olympic team show up with lots of talent and not be able to shoot. Just can't make a bucket and get reffed out of it takes one game in the knockout round and suddenly you're playing for the bronze.
Well, the way I was looking at it is I wanted to find out who is the value on, because I found a list, basically like a power rating of these teams. And I said, okay, I'll take that and compare it to the Vegas odds and see who's overrated and who's underrated. Obviously, the power ratings say that Team USA is the best team. But at -500, like what you're saying, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of value in that.
No.
The two worst teams, Japan and South Sudan. Japan is 500 to 1.
They have an NBA player on their team,
Rui Hachimura.
Mm-hmm.
South Sudan, 400 to 1. They also have an NBA player on their team. You know who it is?
I have no idea.
Bol.
Oh, Bol. That's, what? He's the poor man's Wimby.
Well, he is the homeless man's Wimby. That is a real poor man. But they are, in the power ratings, they are number 12 and number 11, although the power ratings say South Sudan worse than Japan. The odds say Japan worse than South Sudan. Just like the next two, number 9 and 10, same teams, just flipped. Power ratings say 10 is Brazil, 9 is Puerto Rico.
Is Carlos Arroyo still playing?
No, Jose Alvarado, the big star for Puerto Rico, for the Boricua national team. But Puerto Rico, 300 to 1. Brazil, 100 to 1. So those Brazil, Puerto Rico, South Sudan, Japan, we're throwing those out, right?
Yeah.
Can't win.
I would say that would be Puerto Rico's got probably a couple of guys that are in the peripheral of the NBA. But the Brazilians, there's just not enough.
Remember, the last time the Puerto Ricans men's basketball team was in the Olympics, they beat the U.S. in a group stage.
What was
that was Athens, 2004.
And wasn't that Carlos Arroyo that led that?
I think it was.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they can be a pest. Number 8 in the power rating, and it matches up with their odds. And I'm curious. I mean, there may be value here because you mentioned this team as like a legit team. Spain at 50 to 1. Spain was unbeaten in their Olympic qualifying tournament. I guess their best player is Willie Hernan Gomez, other known as Juancho, one-time Spur.
Yeah.
And Santiago Aldama from the Grizz, also on that team. Usman Garuba, Rudy Fernandez.
Lots of NBA dudes.
Juancho Hernan Gomez on that team as well.
Juancho.
And there's no Pau Gasol, Mark Gasol, but they've got a solid squad. You feel like there's maybe value on them at 50 to 1?
Yes.
That seems like a big number. I'm at least intrigued. Here's one I don't think there's value on, because this power rating says they are the number 7 team, but you would have to, they are the 5th favorite. So to 1.
How many of the Antetokounmpo brothers are playing? All of them?
I know one. And does it really matter? Like,
well, other than him, no.
Other than him,
they've got a big center, this Thanasis. The Greeks are a fun team to watch because they're just going to try to beat you up.
Yeah, they're going to be super physical.
They're going to be physical, and if you can't handle it, they're going to beat you. They're not going to win much. But if I'm betting on a medal round, absolutely, I don't think the Greeks are out of that.
Not a lot of NBA players on their roster. I mean, it's Giannis and just a bunch of randos. Usually not a recipe for success. Number 6 in the power ratings, and in the odds, they are the next they're 7th, right behind Spain. Australia at 45-1. This is a bunch of guys who are really solid 6th and 7th men on NBA teams. It's Joe Ingles and Patty Mills and Josh Giddey and Matty Dellavedova and Dante Exum. None of these guys are NBA starters, but they're all good enough to be on NBA teams. Does that work in this level? I don't know.
That team,
there's more NBA players than Greece and Spain have.
Well, that very team that you just listed beat Team USA's Pops World Cup team.
Okay.
So that's a good team.
Number 5 on the list is on the power rating list is Serbia. They're 4th in the odds at 15-1. Serbia made it to the World Cup championship game last summer without Nikola Jokic. They have Jokic now.
Mm-hmm.
So seemingly they're going to be better having one of the best players in the world. They'll have Bogdan Bogdanovic. So they've at least got 2 guys that are, I mean, you're going to have a solid top of the roster. They do have a pretty rough grouping. They're in Group C with Team USA. So they'll go up against the US early, which I don't know if that's good or bad. This seems like a pretty veteran-laden team. It's probably bad to play them early, right?
Man, those guys are savvy. And they play together year-round with the addition of an NBA team. Those are the kind of teams when we watch Team USA and you can't figure out why they aren't winning by more. And it takes, Kevin Durant to go in and score 8 points in the 4th quarter or something. It's because they're playing against teams like that who just, if you fall asleep, you miss one assignment, they get a layup. They're not going to beat themselves. They're not going to turn the ball over. They're going to take what you give them and hope that you make a mistake. And when you get a bunch of superstars together, mistakes happen. That's why this 500 number seems prohibitive. But think about what we've just gone through. We've talked about 4 teams that are going to line up at least 3 or 4 NBA veterans, if not current starters. It's not as humiliating as it used to be to lose, though this team in particular has no excuse because they have more world talent on this team as far as world competition than I think we've ever had. Think of the number of international competitions all these guys have played over the last 15 years. I mean, these guys have been there, done it enough where it should be that, but the talent level every year continues to improve.
All right. This might be my team. If I say U.S. isn't going to win the gold medal, this is my choice.
I guess. Should I be? Is it the Wagners?
It is.
It is. Look out.
Germany is the 6th favorite. They are 30-1. Mind you, they are the reigning FIBA World Cup champions. They beat Team USA in the semifinals by 2 points last year, and then they beat Serbia in the title game. They've got both Wagner brothers, including Franz Wagner, who's like I'm like
he just got paid.
Borderline fanboy of this dude, and Dennis Schroeder, who was the MVP in that World Cup that they won.
There's something about international ball and Dennis Schroeder where he just hoops.
This feels like a pretty good squad.
They've also got Daniel Tice
for 30-1. A lot of NBA talent, proven winners. They beat Team USA. They're not intimidated. I like them at 30-1. I think the US is going to win. I'm just saying, if you're looking for value outside of it, I think this might be where it lies.
I think you're betting on silver and gold. You're looking for a parlay of the top three. And I think you'd be pretty safe, including the Germans in there.
The favorites to be second and third place are France and Canada in that order. Canada, the favorite non-US team, at 11-1. France 14-1. France was second place in the last Olympics. They were pretty good and didn't have Wembanyama yet. So that's the silver medal team from the last Olympics is adding Wemby. It seems like maybe solid. In a friendly against Germany, Wemby had 25 points, 10 of 16 shooting from the field, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal in 19 minutes. That's going to be he's going to do all right in this international ball, I think.
The international ball tends to be compact. They play a little bit closer because 3-point line is a little bit closer. Yeah. And while it's compact and close to the rim, it allows a little bit more of a free-flowing move. This is a game that's built for Wemby. I mean, for a guy who can rip and run and pull up and take threes and kind of avoid some of that internal traffic, this is the kind of game that those kind of players just thrive in. It's just the paint guys get lost in the mix here. You got to be free-flowing in an international game because that's where the talent is. This is the kind of thing where Wemby and the Wagners, they just thrive in this kind of place.
I'm guessing Jokic too, like bigs who can get out and
just
hit
movement,
shots.
Yeah, because there's so many big, slow posts in Europe that it just clogs the paint. So those that can free move and can get out and move in space between the free throw lines just play so well.
Well, a team that doesn't have a lot of size is Canada, but they are the second favorites. They've got the second most NBA players on their roster. SGA, Jamal Murray, Dylan Brooks.
Look out, man.
Lou Dort, RJ Barrett, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. There's a lot of NBA talent on this squad, but again, like we're not talking about Anthony Edwards and Steph Curry's and KD's and LeBron's, but this could be a solid squad.
Yeah, the problem that they run into is the same problem that the Americans run into. Is the FIBA game is very different. The way that it's reffed, there are some minute rule changes that really play a role, like ball in the cylinder and things like that. That really that you're not used to defending, that you're not used to going after offensively. That you're speaking a language as your second language when you go play FIBA basketball. And you have to be able to overcome those droughts when the ball doesn't bounce right, or the ref just, doesn't understand this is what we get to do in America and they won't let you do it in Europe. That travel that we get to do that they're not going to call.
Right.
Or the travel that they call that isn't. I mean, those little things that throw off Western basketball players as opposed to, the European and Asian types. That's why I think Canada has probably got a lesser chance than some of those others, just because they're not quite got the guys to overcome those little things, and they've got just enough talent to try.
Okay. Team USA doesn't win the gold medal. Who's your choice?
I think Germany or France are probably going to be my most likely choice.
Okay. I'm going Germany. I'm planting my flag on Germany. It's a USA flag, but it's only in case of
what's the best team out of Africa? Is it the Sudan?
South Sudan, yeah.
So they won the African tournament?
Yep.
They're good. I can tell you that. Those African teams are good. We might not know anybody but him, Bol, but look out for those guys. That African league is as good as anywhere anymore.
So they won the African league, Japan won Asia, and Brazil won South America.
Mm-hmm.
So they get the auto the auto bids, so to speak.
I wouldn't want to play a team like Sudan because you have no idea what these guys are going to do.
Yeah, you've got no idea.
These guys.
Yeah. So interesting to see. We'll
we got what, 3 weeks?
Something like that. Yeah.
3 weeks, couple of friendlies. I saw where some of the NBA types have been yanked out of the Classic and the Las Vegas thing to go scrimmage against the NBA to get them kind of ready. And I know the NBA, they probably have a couple of showcase games coming up here in a couple of days, I think. They'll hit the road and play some. Don't they always play in Monaco when they go overseas just so they get a weekend in paradise?
Yeah. Live the good life, baby. Hang out with James Bond and stuff, I think. Playing poker and Lord knows what else.
One of the few places where they're not the richest guys in the room.
Yeah. Welcome to international rich.
Live our life.
Macau rich is different than Vegas rich.
Very different.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about the idea that apparently Mike Gundy just admitted that he's driven drunk thousands of times. I don't know if that's a smart thing to say into a microphone, but Mike Gundy did it. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We went just past one of the 4 major grilling holidays. So now, grillers, it's all about you. Head over to Tri-County and appease that imagination of what you want to do over a grill. Because if you want it, they got it. And if they don't got it, you don't need it. That's why I love going to Tri-County Meat Market. I head there every week for their specials. They're going to have all the great steaks deals every week. They've got their prepared side. You know exactly what you're going to get. Whether it's an avocado bomb, one of those chicken breasts that they stuff full of so much goodness, it's the size of a football by the time they're done. All that's going to be there. But when was the last time you went and bought a rub that you hadn't used, a marinade that you've not tried before, or maybe there's a cut of meat that you've really not gone after? Now's the time to perfect it before we get to those end of the summer holidays. This is grilling season, my friends. You need to head over to Tri-County Meat Market because a great meal starts with great meat from Tri-County Meat Market. Specials every week. The 5 for $25 is always in play. I'll say it again. If you haven't filled a bag with their 5 items for $25, you have not taken advantage of the best deal in San Antonio. I promise you there's 2 meals in that special. And, of course, the weekly emailer. Don't leave without getting your name on the list. 2 locations, Huebner and Ralph Fair. They're waiting on you today. Head over to Tri-County, put some good meat on the grill, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, are the Spurs still in the market for another player? What about Utah's big fella?
Is Lauri Markkanen on the market or off the market? There's conflicting stories out there. We do know Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes are officially Spurs. We'll hear from them, but the big question wasn't answered. What number is Chris Paul going to wear?
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, everyone. Broadcaster and ER physician Dr. Jerry Punch here. We all know about the speed of sound, but have you ever thought about the sounds of speeding? If you drive over the speed limit, there are lots of sounds that you might hear. You could hear the sound of your vehicle crashing, the sound of first responders desperately trying to save you. You could even hear the sound of people crying at a funeral. Because if you drive over the speed limit, you could do damage that's beyond repair. One way or another, speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Have you ever lifted a piece of furniture only to discover the carpet underneath looks brand new while the rest of it looks, well, not brand new? That's when you realize you need new carpet. At the Home Depot, we have a wide selection of all the top brands. Best of all, installation is included. So all you need to do is choose something that matches your style. Start your carpet project today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Installation included with qualifying purchases. Exclusions apply. For licenses, see homedepot.com/license numbers.
Okay, I'm ready to record my jewelry store's new radio spot. I got a great script that really goes after Diamonds Direct and how they're nothing special and how we can match their price. Great stuff.
Oh, great. We have this new technology that bleeps out any false claims, so it saves us time with editing. So you can start anytime.
Okay, here goes. When you visit our jewelry store, we'll guarantee direct. Our diamonds come straight. We have cutters and... Hey, what the?
The hard truth is that other jewelry stores simply can't do what Diamonds Direct can. Diamonds Direct has special relationship with De Beers, international connections, and virtually unlimited buying power. The result is true direct importer pricing, exceptional quality, and up to 30 times the diamond selection you find at other stores.
I can't believe this thing won't let me say...
Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get more truth at diamondsdirect.com.
Hi, everybody. Scott Innes here. For 25 years, I've been voicing lovable cartoon dogs like Scooby-Doo, Astro. Hey, I love puppies and dogs. And now I get to help pets that need a voice to save their lives. That's where the Puppy Food Bank comes in. The Puppy Food Bank helps pet rescue organizations so they can feed puppies. For just $11 a month, you can save a pet's life. Go to puppyfoodbank.org now and donate, and they'll send you a nice gift. Puppy Food Bank is proudly supported by Thomas J. Henry.
Hi, everyone. Broadcaster and ER physician Dr. Jerry Punch here. We all know about the speed of sound, but have you ever thought about the sounds? Drive over the speed limit, there are lots of sounds that you might hear. You could hear the sound of your vehicle crashing, the sound of first responders desperately trying to save you. You could even hear the sound of people crying at a funeral. Because if you drive over the speed limit, you could do damage that's beyond repair. One way or another, speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Have you ever lifted a piece of furniture only to discover the carpet underneath looks brand new while the rest of it looks, well, not brand new? That's when you realize you need new carpet. At the Home Depot, we have a wide selection of all the top brands. Best of all, installation is included. So all you need to do is choose something that matches your style. Start your carpet project today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Installation included with qualifying purchases. Exclusions apply. For licenses, see homedepot.com/license numbers.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Let's go. Mike Gundy has decided he's not going to suspend Ollie Gordon, even though Ollie Gordon on June 30th was arrested in Tulsa on suspicion of DUI.
Suspicion. Convicted? Not convicted.
Not yet. But usually you get arrested for a Dewey. It's in college, it's an automatic. You're going to sit out for a little while. And depending on how important the player is, you could say, well, we'll sit him out for
some are more equal than others.
It's an undetermined amount of time. Listen, a lot of his punishment's going to happen before the season starts. But usually there's at least like a game, because coaches have to they have to keep up the appearances that they give a damn. So even when they don't, you'd say, all right, well, we got to sit him out for X amount of time. They start the season with South Dakota State. I like to think Oklahoma State could beat the old Jackrabbits.
Those with or without team compete for a national championship every year. I mean, of all of the FBS schools, that's a tough one to draw. I'm telling you, that's not an easy one.
They get Arkansas next, and then Tulsa. They're in a spot where they could win some games.
I have a question for you. So it's your son that was in college, had a night out, got pulled over the legal. I mean, he's drunk, but never been in trouble before. Was in college where everybody's supposed to go. You know, he made a dumb mistake.
Mm-hmm.
It's your son. How do you punish him? You throw him out of school? Do you pull him home from college and say, you have failed yourself and everybody for this youthful indiscretion? And keep in mind, if you pull him out of college, there goes the Scully. There ain't no money to go to another school. He ain't going to the local state school. He ain't going to the local commuter school. He's coming home to work. It's your kid. What are you going to do?
I am going to let. I mean, if he's there to play football, I'm going to let his football coach handle it. He's 20 years old. You know, he's got I know, and sure, he's too young to be drinking, but he's also old enough to be paying bills.
Is he old enough to make a decision that could very well end it? Like, this is his way through college, and he's thrown out. Now, that doesn't mean another Scully won't come, but this is high D1. He won't get another one from Oklahoma State level, Big 12. It'll be Sam Houston State. It'll be someplace else. Doesn't mean his life is done, but
I don't see how pulling a kid out of college will help him with this. But
so you're not saying we should not advocate for expulsion? This guy should, okay. As long as we're standing on the same ground.
But the idea that he's not going to miss a game.
Well, that's
he's not going to be
suspended
for a game.
Yeah, what did Gundy actually say?
He said he is not going to miss game time for the incident. He said, this was his quote. That could just be, so Gordon blew a .10. 0.08's the legal limit.
So close, man.
And he said 0.10 could be 2 or 3 beers.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
He said, I've been guilty of that 1,000 times and got lucky it didn't turn into a serious situation.
Don't start telling the truth, coach. We'll all get in trouble.
One thing I can say in year 20 as a head coach that I probably wouldn't say in year 2 is everybody needs to look into the mirror and think, have I done that and not gotten caught? Have I had 2 or 3 beers and drove a car? Because 2 or 3 beers can put you over the legal limit. People need to put some thought into that and not throw stones through glass windows. Not that it's right. And I want him to understand the seriousness as a parent, and I think he did.
I like the second half. The first half, just because you did it doesn't mean it's right.
And just
like dude, don't admit to that. That's not helping his or your cause. Now, the second half, I think we can all agree.
Listen, I've done it too, but when you do it, there's punishment for it. How about just the fact that he's 20 years old? Have you thousands of times gotten behind the wheel of a car after having 3 beers when your legal limit is 0.00 when you're under 21? Because that's the legal limit when you're 20.
Well, he's underage drinking. There's no question.
So I would think, were he 21, there might be a different level of discipline than being underage and doing it.
Now, I know that those that are involved and have had dealt with loss and both personal and financial, the drunk drivers have every right. But I would like to think that this is one of those situations where, you get one bite free. He didn't kill anybody, but let's hope that a lesson will be learned. I'll tell you this, now that it's in the news and he's getting all this, I think he'd almost rather go to jail than what's going to happen to him in practice. His practice is in Stillwater, what he's going to go through over the next 6 months. If I was Coach Gundy, and if there's anybody who loved this kid who got pulled over, I want him to suffer to the point physically. Like, he's going to suffer. I mean, can you imagine what your coach is going to do to you? It's going to be a miserable life.
Rough.
He's
You're
going
right.
to pay a price, and let's hope he learns a lesson. But I'll tell you what, if it was to ever happen again, there's no forgiveness. There's no, you're done, man. You're done.
And Gundy said there's still there will be internal penalties.
You can beat the rap, but you can't beat the ride. Let me tell you, he's going to pay a penalty.
But Gundy says the matter is settled. Good. I've been with Ollie a considerable number of times and listened to him. He was remorseful and knew how serious it could have been, and that allowed me to make a decision. I have to make a decision, and there's a lot of people involved in it, not just him. I wanted it to be over with today, other than what he has to deal with from a legal standpoint. But for our team and me, it's over today, and we try to regroup heading forward.
Wow. You hate to hear fairness and justice intertwined like that, but it was, and it's rather refreshing. I'm glad he's still the guy, I'm a man, come at me. And when you're being recruited by a coach, it's good to have a guy who's going to step in front. He's going to take Coach Gundy's going to take a fair amount for what he said. They're going to be coming at him. But while they're coming at him, they won't be coming at Ollie. And that's his job.
He was speeding and swerving through traffic lanes, was charged with DUI under the age of 21, transporting open alcohol containers. So he
had a beer between his legs. Come on.
He was drinking while driving.
He had a beer between it again.
I get it, Rob. Like, when we grew up, that's how
that
it was
legal.
just was.
It was legal.
Yeah, it's not now.
I know. And it's wrong. And what he did was what a 20-year-old kid does, and he better not damn well ever do it again. But I'm not going to end this kid. I'm with Gundy.
Okay.
But now I'm going to trust that what he's saying is the truth.
But I mean, so if you were coaching, you're not suspending this kid for a game?
Yes, I'm going to suspend him. And I don't think that this is he's saying it now. I mean, I appreciate what he's doing. And whatever he deems as the penalty, I'm going to trust that he's going to do it right. I believe that he has his kid's best interests at heart. So I'm not going to question what he's doing. There's lots of ways to pay a price. And I would hate for something that is fixable and forgettable and learnable to be used as a thing that just is this black mark on you that never, ever goes away. Now, he's going to have to go through the justice system. He's going to have to deal with that. He probably lost his driver's license, and he's going to have to do something, and he might spend a couple of weekends in jail, and he deserves it.
I like the differing takes on the Brigade Bar. Gilberto says coach is not wrong. Tarek says, I don't believe people should get a slap on the hand the first time. There's people that have 8 and not until they kill someone they get punished.
That's wrong. Yes, you can't justify what he did. You can't. There's no, and by the letter of the law, the dude should be in jail because he could have endangered me, worse yet, my kid or my wife.
Yeah.
But he didn't. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
So let's fix it till he never happens again, but we don't need to end him.
All right. Let's hit our last break of the day. When we come back, the daily lines, and I got a story about a man who took the sign on the wall a little too seriously. Morning Huddle at 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
How you feeling today? I hope you woke up feeling, well, ready to go. Buttoned up, my brother and I used to say. Did you wake up feeling good about yourself, looked in the mirror and said, this is what I meant to be today? Keep it to yourself and carry on. You're already on the right track. But if you're like the rest of us and woke up not feeling good, didn't get enough sleep, probably overweight, snort all night long, looking for that first hit of cocaine and sugar and caffeine and everything you can to get yourself going. If that's you, listen close. You don't have to live that life. A healthy lifestyle is not that far away. And so many of us have tried to get there and can't for our own personal problems and maybe our own personal medical issues that won't allow us to lose weight. And that's why Dr. Jacob Torres in the Institute for Functional Health has been so successful with people just like me and just like you who are tried to lose weight, thought they could lose weight, but couldn't for whatever reason. He has a program that is variable by so many different degrees that it works for so many different people. We walk in the doors with different reasons why we're overweight, and how we lose weight is the same thing. We lose weight in different ways. One thing is in common, a caloric deficit. You're not going to lose weight with some kind of fad diet and drinking just water and broccoli. You're going to lose weight long-term by eating healthy and having fewer calories going in than you're burning. That's how it goes. And how you get there varies, and that's why he's been so successful. I walked in tired and thinking I'd never lose weight. I've been with him for 8 years. I'm down nearly 70 pounds. If it's time for you to lose weight, if the doctors are telling you, if you're just sick of looking at the mirror and seeing what you're seeing, write this number down. 468-1891, a number that will change your life. The website is iffhealth.com. Go there. Take the functional health test. It'll open your eyes. Some of the symptoms you're dealing with are fixable. The Institute for Functional Health changed my life. I want you to do the same. Call them today, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
San Antonio Sports Star.
Concerned about age-related macular degeneration, or AMD? If you're over 50, then you should be. AMD impacts as many as 1 in 10 Americans over 50, severely impacting your vision and robbing you of your ability to drive, read, and enjoy the vibrant beauty of life. Now, protecting your eyes is easier thanks to New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements. Specifically formulated to improve eye health, New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements not only protect your eyes, but help improve night vision, as well as helping to relieve eye fatigue caused by digital devices. Only New Nordic uses wild Swedish blueberries because of their superior concentration of color pigments, which are vital to eye function and health. New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements are Scandinavia's #1 selling natural eye formula, but now you can find them at Amazon.com or NewNordicUSA.com. Enjoy healthy vision with New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements. Available now at Amazon.com or NewNordicUSA.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or apply stopped, opt out. Minimum purchase required. Interest accrues from the date of purchase but is waived if paid within the promotional period. Go to windowappointmentnow.com for full offer details.
Attention homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? Fog between the glass? Spending too much and expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's time to replace.
And right now, you can get a free
free in-home consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen. Plus, during the month of July, buy one window or door and get one 40% off when you buy 4 or more.
Just text $dollar to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality, affordable windows or doors for no money down, no monthly payments, and no interest for 12 months.
That's right. You don't pay a dime for 12 months. Plus, for July only, buy one window or door and get one 40% off.
Don't wait. Text $dollar to 200-300. Text the word $dollar to 200-300. $dollar to 200-300.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the first annual Back to School Drive, Saturday, August 3rd, from noon till 2 p.m. while supplies last at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-aged children, only while supplies last, so don't be late. Saturday, August 3rd, from noon to 2 p.m. at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Presented by the Gomez Law Firm and in part by Las Palapas, ProStar Home Care Services, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, Jim Rome here, and back in the military city of San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Iowa City, Iowa. Kenneth Lee Kelly is a 55-year-old man, and he is he's going through the justice system right now. And you might say, well, what could this fella have done? What's a good old boy from Iowa doing so wrong? He was at a gas station called Come and Go. Spelled K-U-M and Go. I've seen these gas stations before.
Carry on.
I always think it's weird that they would call a gas station that.
Did they have actual gas pumps out front?
They did.
Okay.
He was arrested at the Come and Go when someone called 911 to report that an unknown male had said sexual things to them and began masturbating in their presence in front of the Come and Go store.
All right.
At 12:30 a.m. When questioned by police, Kelly claimed, and he's got a rap sheet that includes theft and narcotics convictions already. He claimed that he wasn't exposing himself.
Okay.
He was just scratching his genitals.
Well,
they were itchy.
They itch. Well,
and they get really itchy when you start saying lewd thing to women. Like if you say like, girl, you know what I'd do to you? It makes your genitals really itchy, apparently.
Well, if he'd have said it and not itched, would he still be in trouble? Or if he'd have itched and not said it, would he still?
I think
it was the combination of the two that really brought on.
I think the words make it harder to use the scratching defense,
because he might have just been itchy and then something happened and he said it while he was scratching, but nearly the two weren't combined as the same act.
Because when my genitals itch, I never talk to people.
I try not to.
I just deal with it myself.
Unless I ask them to reach
quietly.
I can't reach that. Will you help?
But when I say lewd things to women, I always do it when I'm not in a situation where my genitals are itchy. This guy, like both things happening at once, were just too much to deal with, especially in front of the Come and Go.
Does he have a reason or an excuse for this?
Yeah, he's sticking with the
behavior.
He's sticking with the itchy
Just
genitals.
Itchy. That's it. Just itchy.
The sentencing, he's now guilty. He pled guilty, by the way, to indecent exposure, which is, quote, a serious misdemeanor. I don't know what that means.
You get a serious slap.
This is a big time. This is a big time,
go on your
small time
permanent
crime.
record.
This is the worst part. Imagine you're one of these pervs that likes to handle it in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
At the sentencing hearing, the victim is going to have the opportunity to present a victim impact statement. So he's going to have to look her in the eyes while she says, I had to see this gross old man's crumb, and it's haunting my dreams now.
Would you go and give an impact statement? Would you feel the need to?
No. Well, I don't know. Like, do I want this guy locked up? Probably. He could face up to a year in jail. I feel like
he's going to get a year in jail.
I think he is too. I don't know. It doesn't say how old the gal is, but
what I would do if I was her, the ultimate justice would be to change the name of the store. I would go to my boss, and I know you've probably spent years in advertising and got a massive ad budget for the come and go. But you're bringing in the wrong clientele. They're reading our business name, and they're thinking we're doing stuff we're not. Because he did and did.
Yeah.
He followed the rules, I think. Or at least he tried to.
One more quick prosecution note. A man in Pennsylvania has been charged. He's a professional clown.
You mean serial killer?
No, he's a regular clown. But he, instead of, you would think, okay, you're a clown, you're also a murderer.
You have to be, right?
Yeah, not this guy. He is when he moonlights criminal activity, he does it as a hooker. Francis Bui, who's a 28-year-old man.
That's a circus.
He's accused of prostitution.
Oh!
So here's him.
I want to meet his lawyer.
Here's him in costume and him in his.
Is he working the streets with that?
In his mugshot. But he got busted in an undercover operation. Investigators were monitoring online posts offering escort services in the Scranton area, which I believe is where Dunder Mifflin is.
It is the Dunder Mifflin. Well, it's a regional office there.
But this man who was identified later as Bui, who included his phone number in the sexually explicit post, he offered to perform condom-free sexual acts on the undercover and quoted a $100 an hour rate. Cop agreed to the price and arranged a rendezvous at a Carbondale hotel.
Was he going to arrive looking like a clown?
No, I think he did this in no clown makeup.
Oh, so he's not hooking as a clown.
He'd
he's
recently
just a clown
been
who hooks.
traveling with the circus, and he said, "This is the first time I've ever done this. Money was so bad on this circus run that I was prostituting to supplement my income."
Well, you got to make ends meet.
He goes by the Amazing Franco.
Now, if he really wants to make some money, he's going to have to keep the clown makeup on. If you really want to specialize and find your niche.
How far is Scranton from Pittsburgh? Because then he could have gone to Anthrocon.
I have a feeling he probably did.
I'm guessing there's some crossover between furries and clowns.
If you're putting on makeup, you're probably hiding something and looking for others that are doing the same.
That's all I'm saying, Bubba.
Clown sex.
All right, let's hit the daily lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered, yeah! Chris Sale won the matchup yesterday of good on good between Chris Sale and Zach Gallen. And the Braves favored once again at Arizona with Charlie effing Morton on the hill, minus 112 at Slade Ciccone. He's going for the D-backs.
On general principle, I will never bet on a dude named Slade Ciccone.
I wouldn't either.
That is a movie name.
I don't even like people named Slade.
I've never met one.
I don't care what your last name is. If your name's Slade, I'm out on you. You sound like a movie cop.
That's exactly it. It's a movie cop name. On the other side of this, look out for Atlanta. I think they're going to be dancing in October.
You think they're
That's
they,
a good
they're pretty
baseball
damn
team,
good,
man.
Boy, they got a long way to go though if they're going to catch Philly. Philly, the best team in baseball,
You don't
and
gotta
in the
win it.
Braves division. Christopher Sanchez on the hill today, minus 136 against Gavin Stone and the Dodgers. The Phillies dog walked the Dodgers yesterday. I mean, Trey Turner hit a grand slam. I mean, they slapped them around. And Dave Roberts talking about his pitcher after the game was like, yeah, he's got a lot to figure out. This isn't going to work. Something's got to change. You think, like, maybe don't give up 10 runs. His ERA went from 6.4 to like 8.9 in one game. Not ideal. But the Phillies favored once again. One of my favorite betting angles to exploit is betting against the Washington Nationals when Patrick Corbin pitches. Patrick Corbin may be the worst starting pitcher in Major League Baseball. Now the Nationals keep saying, go out there and try again, Pat. The Mets with Luis Severino on the hill, minus 185 favorites against the Nationals on Patrick Corbin Day. I think there may be some value there at the minus 185 on, it doesn't even matter on who, it's against Patrick Corbin. As far as the Texas teams, Michael Lorenzen takes the bump for the Rangers. They are at the Angels. Griffin Canning on the hill for Anaheim. Minus 126 are those Rangers. And Fromber going for the Stros today. Minus 217 against Brian Honig and the Miami Marlins. The lowly Miami Marlins. There's a couple double headers today. So like I always say, be careful. Kansas City I think it was Chicago. The White Sox got canceled yesterday. Kansas City and St. Louis got canceled yesterday. So they're both playing doubleheaders today. So be careful about who your starting pitcher is. I know Michael Wacha pitching for Kansas City in one of the games against St. Louis. He's a dog. I kind of like Michael Wacha in that game. So I might be looking at a dog price on the Royals. All right.
Hey, daily fantasy.
Okay.
If you're into the more or lesses, Cole Palmer,
made up
attacker for the Brits today at 2:00 as they're taking on the Dutch, the Netherlands team.
Okay.
He's going to get it. They're going to win. It's going to be Cole Palmer with a score. He's at half on my prize picks. Go with the go with the more. Go with the more.
Who are they playing?
They're playing the Dutch, the team in orange, the Brits. Harry Kane is the famous guy. Cole Palmer's the baller. If they win, he gets it. I like it. Go with the over on that.
What other games of note? Shota Imanaga pitching for the Cubs today. Big dog. Baltimore minus 177 at home against the Cubs.
I don't get that one.
I mean, Baltimore's the best team in the AL.
Yeah, but
Shota's been pretty damn good.
That's a big number.
Shota had one bad game all year.
Otherwise, 12 runs.
Yeah. Otherwise, he's been like the best pitcher in baseball. Quite honestly, if you took out that one game, his ERA is like 1.4. It's absurd.
Good pitcher, average team.
Yeah. So maybe some interest in Shota as a dog. The other game of note: the lowly New York Yankees.
Lowly. You like saying that? I can tell.
Zach Eflin pitching for Tampa. They're minus 119 favorites at home against Marcus Stroman and the Yanks, the worst team in baseball since June. Yankees just dreadful. And it doesn't appear they're ever going to figure it out.
Well, the fun part of this whole thing has been watching the Orioles just smoke them on a regular basis.
Yeah. I have bet regret. Minnesota Lynx. I
warned you, man. I tried to tell you.
I should have bet them. I said I liked them. I didn't end up making a wager. They beat the snot out of the Sparks. We got a full slate of Ladies Basketball Association today, though, Bubba. Liberty Bibbity, the New York Liberty, 2-point road favorites at Connecticut. That's a tough game for me. I'm staying away from that one. That's a couple good teams. Plus, it's an early start. I'm not messing with that. Atlanta at Chicago.
Take Chicago at home. I don't know what the number is.
7.
Ooh, big enough. That's big enough. Chicago take it.
I kind of think so too.
Yeah.
Washington at Indiana.
How's Miss Caitlin doing?
-7. The Fever.
Really?
Yep. Washington's one of those terrible teams. So I got kind of lean to Indiana there too. Vegas -4 at Seattle.
Take that. Run with it.
And Phoenix 6.5-point favorites hosting Dallas.
I like that too. There's your box right there. Go make some money.
I think if you play all 5 favorites,
I think you're going to be in pretty good shape.
I think you go 3-2 at worst.
Yeah, worse.
And if you go 4-1, you're rolling in it, baby. So I'm gonna go all 5 favorites if I were betting this, and I'm betting we go 4-1
too. Bet US, here I come.
I'm betting we do all right with that strategy.
$5. All right, let's do this.
Oh, what are you parlaying?
I'm all in, baby.
Oh,
yes.
Boy. Well, I don't know if that's the move. Because like I said, you might go 4-1 and you'd make money, but if you want to get greedy, go for it, my man. Go for it.
All those look pretty handy to me.
Go right ahead. That Indiana game, the total's 169.5. It's a nice total and a half, nice and a half even. Indiana's still the worst defensive team in the Ladies Basketball Association.
We don't care about stuff like that.
Defense doesn't matter. Like we did that story the other day about defense in the NBA. Hadn't trickled over to the WNBA yet.
Not at all.
No, Caitlin ain't about that defense life. She's here to get buckets, baby. That's it.
All right. You like the I'm clicking here.
You're
Excuse
in?
me. I'm clicking here. I like the sky. Let's do that one.
And in Euro 2024, Rob's favorite league,
the Brits and the team in orange.
England is plus
Dutch.
170, Netherlands plus 215, the draw plus 180. But if you like the you want the draw, no bet, that's what I would prefer. England minus 130, Netherlands plus 105.
I'll tell you, the Brits, England has been living by the skin of their teeth. I mean, it took a goal in extra time just to get them in, and it took another miracle to get them past. They have not played up to their abilities. They're playing the last 4 minutes of the game. I wouldn't be opposed to putting some money on the Dutch.
All right.
Team in orange.
How about Colombia at Uruguay in the Copa America? Uruguay minus 130, Colombia plus 105.
Did you watch what the Uruguayans did to the U.S. team? I think that
they bullied them.
Well, they just played that ugly kind of game. I don't know enough about. I don't know. I think Colombia is probably better. I think the line might reflect that, but I don't know what the spread looks like. I don't know how to bet this game.
Do they still kill you in Colombia? Do they still kill your family if you lose?
Yeah. I mean, that just goes without saying.
That feels motivating to me.
Well, it should be.
I think I'd have a good interest in winning. But I will also never bet on soccer because that's a sucker sport. All right. That's going to do it, man. Another day in the books, Robert.
Hey, we have, almost home.
We'll be back tomorrow for a Thursday episode, which Rob likes to call Small Friday.
That's the way we do it.
We've got to have our big meeting with the boss today. And I know what he's going to say. He's going to say, I loved that come and go story. I'm almost sure he's going to really like that. Talk more about clown hookers is what he's going to say.
We're good at that.
Yeah. The Blitz is on it too. I bet they're not talking clown hookers. We'll be back tomorrow. Morning Huddle, baby.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with the right hand.
Your home for the NBA.
It's Jason and Joe from the Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 22nd and 23rd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas. More details and discounted rooms available online at sasportstar.com.
Joel, I'm proud to introduce my latest in-summer relaxation relief occasion.